Hello, welcome, people. It is Monday. It's time for Ashmatic Analysis. Welcome to Spurs Kings TV. As per usual, Ashley, well,
Yeah, man, enjoying the sun, enjoying the weather. Spring is doing its thing, man. So yeah, man, out here trying to find a beach.
they're already, man. The way Brentford played tonight, I think they are on the beach.
How you doing? You good?
Yeah, man. Good. Let's bring on Oren first, as per usual. Oren, welcome back.
Good, I'm good.
Well,
Yeah, I'm good.
Nothing to talk about this week, Oren. Nothing to talk about, really, is there?
Yeah, there's lots to. Ash, you see beaches? They're hyped up, man. They're not as. I live near several beaches. They're just filled with people, lobsters walking around, playing loud music. You can't even look at the women anymore because they think that you're a pedo or something. So yeah,
if you wear clothes, though,
that makes it even worse.
I can't see where your eyes are looking.
They know what they're doing.
Hey, yo, Ash, did he make that sound like some of the best feeling in the world? He was meant to make it sound so negative. Lobster music.
He wasn't telling a bad dream.
So I didn't go to the beach. I sat and I watched Spurs play. And all I can say is before you bring the other guests on, it's like Angie said, the light at the end of that tunnel is always a fucking train. Let's go to Spurs. Xavi getting injured. Solanke, what the fuck?
Anyway,
yeah. Let's get the other guest on.
Big.
Let's get laughing.
Big welcome to Carl. You well?
Yes, brother. Yes, guys. Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you. Very good. You know, I was just thinking earlier, like the last time I was on was after the Europa League final.
Yeah.
You know.
It's been a long time.
Different circumstances,
bro.
Brother.
That's
I don't know what's more shocking, the fact of like where we are, the fact that it took 10 months to come back on. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, it's strange times, man. Strange times.
And then last but not least, a big welcome and a debutant. Jordan, you well?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Thank you. Blessed to be here. Grateful for the invite. So, looking forward to chatting about whatever nonsense went on this weekend. Lots to talk about. So, looking forward to it.
All right. Speaking of nonsense, took 118 days, Ash. Finally got that win under our belt against the bottom club.
Celebration.
But nobody's happy.
Positive.
Because of what I said last week, and everyone went against me.
What did you say last week? Remind us.
So not on here. When I was on last week, I said we were playing crap and we weren't very good, and it doesn't matter what happens next. We need to play better, and we won't play well against Wolves. And everyone was like, "No, you can't say that. Be positive."
You know, all that.
Yeah.
Look, let's talk about it, man. Let's get straight to it, man.
Go.
Look. Brighton, they come out, they play. So that suits De Zerbi style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We look better with teams that want to play football. If teams want to low block us, that's when we find our problems. And I think most teams in the top six, when they're facing low blocks, they come across this issue. De Zerbi against Brighton, that's his old club. He's going to know them inside out. He's going to know the weaknesses. He's going to know the players. He knows the players' mum's name. You know what I'm saying? He knows their cats, the dogs. So... yeah, that is no surprise that we played well against Brighton. Against Wolverhampton now, it's a different kettle of fish. I know the narrative was they got points at home against Liverpool, Arsenal,
Villa.
And Villa. That was it, yeah. So those are the three big teams that were like, all right, cool. It's not going to be an easy job. But the thing is, and we have to talk about teams that are around us, they're not losing games. And this is uncharted waters. We've never been here before. We've not experienced this in our lifetimes. Not one of us here. So we don't really know how to navigate it, how to we're used to top four battles. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Europa at its worst. Like, oh, I'm going to make it into Europe. Eighth is a terrible season. 10 places on top of the 18th. I mean, you can't make this up, man. And look, things happen in that game. Kinski, your boy, Marlon, hot bins was going. He must have pulled off a top save, you know.
I was surprised.
He's not doing too bad. Like, I don't know if he would have gone through Vicario's hands. That's up for debate.
Well,
Just
the most
leave it
like-
out, Marlon.
I ain't trying to keep it on, man.
You're just like, here we fucking go.
I'm just saying, look, Richarlison, the debate was Richarlison or Solanke. Well, it's like we're arguing over salt and pepper. Like, I don't understand. Like,
Well,
are we that much in the mud? Like, what we doing here? But yeah, listen, I let these guys talk on it, man. I thought I'd open up with a small monologue. Guys, take it away, man.
Yeah, Carl, I'll bring you in next.
Yeah.
What did you make of Saturday?
Same old, same old. It's not like, De Zerbi has imprinted his philosophy on the team already. I mean, look, I don't feel like he can. I don't feel like that's not what he's been brought in to do. He's been brought in 7 games. It's needs must, and I don't feel like his style of play is going to be implemented so soon. So I don't think that we can be too hard on the team in terms of not playing this sexy, free-flowing, De Zerbi type football. It's too early for that. We just need to stay up. That's the main thing. Look, I get it. The performance was whack. We've been too accustomed to seeing performances like that over the last 2 years, let's be honest. But we got the 3 points. That's the main thing. And listen, at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. I don't care how we play right now. But like Ash touched on initially, the fact that West Ham got that winner in the last minute, that was the killer. We wouldn't be sitting there feeling so deflated if West Ham actually drew that game and we was 17th. It's perspective, guys. It's perspective, isn't it? At the end of the day. But look, if we're getting onto the team and how we play, listen, we know football. We've been knowing that these players are not good enough for years. And it's now the chickens have come home to roost. Pardon the cockerel pun. We we are here, guys. When you buy players like Tell, Richarlison, Coleman, what would you expect? Bergvall, these are not good players. Just because you buy them, put the Spurs shirt on them, spend good money on them, that does not make them good players. And we've said it for years, guys. So this is not happened overnight. This is years of doing. And I just pray that it's not too little too late. I know my title looks a bit negative and a bit doom and gloom, but I just hope it's not too little too late. I hope we haven't brought De Zerbi in too late. I hope this first win of 2026 is not in vain. I just pray, guys, as I'm sure we all are. But I don't know. We're going to get into it. But yeah, that was my thought. Those are my thoughts anyway. My first thoughts.
Jordan, I'll bring you in on next. Yeah, what was your takeaways from Saturday? Like,
Yeah, for me, it was going to be one of them games that I feel like we're always going to struggle in, right? Like Ash said, we're always going to struggle breaking down a low block. And for me, stripping it back to the most simple that you can do, you break a low block by a 1v1 dribbling or really creative passing, right? If you strip it down to as simple as you can get. We don't have any of them qualities in any of our players. So I can't remember the last time we properly broke down a low block and felt really confident against like a team that's going to sit in 2 banks of 4. The game itself was basically exactly what I expected. It was going to be scrappy. It was going to be low quality. But for me, the biggest sort of, whether I'm just clutching at straws now, I need some sort of positive. The fact that mentally we got through them last 10 minutes, especially knowing, when West Ham score, then Dewsbury Hall equalises, and then West Ham score again. There's easy times, especially that last save with Kinski. It really could have gone left. So I guess the psychological element of it for me was like the only positive thing that we could take. And if there's ever a time where we need an improvement in the mentality and in the togetherness, is definitely now. But as I say, the game itself, the players, like what Kyle said, we've been knowing these players are nowhere near the level that the club needs to be at, right? And that's been an issue for as long as I can remember, really. And obviously, in the backdrop of everyone around us on literally title-chasing form, like I see earlier, Leeds, Forest and West Ham, their combined last 15 games, there's been one loss out of them 3 teams in 15. Like, this isn't something that happens in a relegation battle. So we've literally just got to take every single chance that we get, keep plodding along, and just hope that in the games that we can nick a scrappy 1-0 in the future, the West Hams and that don't equalise.
Warren, go on. Spread it.
Sorry, what? Yeah, like, I think it was just about getting the win, and have to give credit where credit's due, because like Xavi goes off, Solanke goes off, where are you going to get the goals from? And then once again, it's Polina who's a signing, who's been kind of the one bright, or sort of, can I say even bright? One sort of the like shimmer player who's like popped up with a goal again. Regardless of, the most important thing was getting a win, because a lot of, fans and people say, oh, why they're celebrating that way. And I'm like, look, you got to look at these players. They've been through shit all season. And it's just compounds even more. They're seeing players getting carried off. They're seeing the team disjointed. As soon as they get momentum, some players get injured. And for them to pull that off, it's a big thing, confidence going forward. But like Spurs, when Angie said it, and I said it backstage, it's like when you see a light at the end of the tunnel, it's a train coming. Because now you have Solanke gone, you got Xavi gone, and you're like, right, what more? What more can happen? Like, it's just, and the weird thing is, since Kingsley's been back, I know the 2 goals, but and a deflected goal, but like the defense actually looks more stable in a weird way. Like, he hasn't had to make, the thing is about the games, like, it wasn't like he had to make lots and lots of saves. The Brighton, the goals of Brighton and stuff, that was like Donzo making error. But De Zerbi keeps on saying these players are good enough to get them out of it, and I think that's working. And like Hal was saying, he's not going in there. He's even admitted, I'm not going to tell you my philosophies. No, this is about keeping things simple and getting these players to believe every single time they cross the line. And the commentators, like, during the match, were saying he was like subdued. He wasn't as, pacing up back and forth. And I think that was actually a genius thing, because he knows that if these players feel pressure, they buckle. And if he's doing this and waving, it distracts him even more. So he's going to go, right, I can shout and shout and shout and shout, and these players don't listen to me. Or I can just keep calm, chill, and let these players play. And that's what he did. And that's why, the last, with Kingsley making a save and the players felt more calm. And I think that's a good thing about De Zerbi. That's what he's shown in a weird way, that he's not here to, like, it's not about you going to play for me. It's I'm here to adapt to you. And then if we stay up, we're going to do it that way. So if only Frank had done that, or Angie had done that, I mean, that's the manager we've been calling out for. A manager who comes in, looks at the situation, goes, right, I will adapt to them. I will play a system, and I'll keep things very basic and simple until I can then. But for me to go in and charge season tactics and saying, you're going to play 3 at the back, you're going to do this, it ain't going to work. So you got 3 games left now. 4 games? Yeah, it's going to be tight. I'm still confident that Spurs will get there, though. I'm talking, it's going to be like 1 point. Something's going to give. And we can't. Yeah, I mean, it's easy for to say they're going to go down, but hey, that'll be a boring stream. You got to have a bit of debating.
At this point,
I don't think you believe your own spiel. It sounds like it's just saying it.
No, I've always said I think Spurs will stay up. I do.
But this is the most nervous you've ever been about it, though. Yeah,
as a Spurs, as a football fan, I know that anything can happen in football. But as a Spurs fan, of course,
you can genuinely see us staying up, though. I mean, where's the wins coming from? And where's the goals coming from, more importantly, because we did lose Solanke. There was, I know you were on Solanke's side. No, Oren was on Solanke's side.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Was Solanke even on the pitch when we scored?
No, he wasn't.
No, Richarlison was.
I'm just here for Elijah, yeah? I'm here for Elijah.
Wait, listen.
The thing is,
Go on.
Yeah, sorry. When Solanke got injured, I smiled and I went, Elijah's got exactly what he wanted. and now he's going to have Richarlison, who came on. What did he do? I mean, even that shot.
But that was the point we were trying to make last week, and I think that's the bit that everyone missed. It wasn't the fact that he took the shot and messed it up. He's in the box, and in that situation, Solanke doesn't. And this is what we're trying to explain. Solanke wouldn't have been there. He would, and that was a corner, but he would have probably been at the near post, he'd have missed it, and then that would have been it, right? Because that's what Solanke does. He's more about his best play comes from outside the box. Right now, as you've all asked, is where the goals are going to come from. Now, there was another chance that Richarlison possibly could have had, which was the cross. Again, he's in the box. Again, Solanke wasn't doing that. And I think that's what Elijah was trying to come up with. It's not the fact that he thinks Solanke's better. No, Richarlison's better. It's just the fact that Richarlison will be in the box and he will just cause chaos. And that's exactly that's how crap he is. He's mishit a shot and it's gone straight to Molineux and it's gone in. But this is what we need.
Yeah, we were getting that though. Now you're going to see who's going to hold the ball up, who's going to...
But in this present moment, I don't think we need that because the only wingers we've got right now are Mawani and Tell, not Tell. So,
but when the goalkeeper goes long, do you understand? Because we can't always play out from the back. You need someone to pluck the ball out the air and then recycle backwards. Does that make sense? Because
yeah.
When Richarlison touches the ball, what's going to happen is it's going to go. He's going to have to figure it out. He's going to. But that's what when he came on, he wasn't doing that.
He was crap.
Coming on, and the ball was going back to your position, bro.
Yeah, so, but what do you have to do?
Kind of breaks our attack down. Does that make sense?
But what does De Zerbi have to do? I think Oren said at the beginning, you don't adjust to how you want to play. You adjust to the players you've got in front of you, and that's what he has to do. And the biggest difference for me in all this, and it's been Bentancur. Bentancur has been such a massive difference to how the midfield has been and the way it's worked. And I think actually I know he was he was nearly at the end of his knees on Saturday because he couldn't play 9 minutes, but he had to because of the injuries. But if he comes off, I think we draw that game. Personally.
Yeah, he's taking up more of a discipline role, managing him. But it's going to be... The thing is about what Spurs lack incredibly is even players running in behind. So now you don't even have that. Tell's not fast enough. Solanke's not fast enough. From Colin Mawani's not fast enough. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what he does against Aston Villa and who he plays. I think Bissouma's out now as well. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's gone.
Shall we talk about the injuries?
Anthony Doggie's out now as well.
Realistically, Carl, what the hell are we going to do? Are we going to be able to survive with this bare 11 now that we've got left?
Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Seriously, can we even fit 11?
Pardon
the pun. Hopefully it is. Word on Tell, actually. He's one that, listen, we all know he tries well, he means well. Quality's not there, but kudos. He won that corner the other day through sheer persistence and fight. And, that's what we need. That's what's really going to, keep us up. The quality ain't going to keep us up. When you're in a relegation dogfight, we need spirit, we need fight. So at the end of the day, we know the players are not good enough, as we've all alluded to. What are we going to do in terms of a fit enough, decent enough 11 to start against Aston Villa? Listen, obviously the back four picks itself right now. In the midfield, like you said, Bentancur, he is vital. Having experience in there, you see the difference while having Bissouma and Bentancur, 2 senior pros, as opposed to when we had Gray and Bergvall as your double pivot. That don't work in the Premier League. You can't do that. You can't. And I know we hadn't had Bentancur for such a long time, but we've had players like Palhinha sitting on the bench. We've had players like Bissouma there in the background. You play these pros in a time like this. You play these pros. So I don't want to see Gray. I don't want to see Sarr. I don't want to see Bergvall. I don't even want to see Gallagher in the 10. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that, guys. I'll be honest. Look, to fix our sort of creative gaping hole that we've now got because there's no number 10 at the club. That's fit. It's just absurd. No Xavi, no Madders, no Kulu. It's criminal. Although I thought something earlier. At least we're gonna have next. But listen. Let me not say. Well, you know what I'm gonna say. If we do go to the championship, God forbid. But could you imagine the front four of Kulu, Maddison, Xavi? Slightly off topic, but could you imagine if we don't get promoted with that team? Anyway, because those players cannot be sold in the summer, as we know. Anyway, I'm thinking, guys, I don't know. I mean, what's the sort of? Why can't we play Spence right back, Porro right mid, or vice versa? Mawani in the 10, behind Richarlison, Tell on the left. Mawani's he's absolutely wasted on the right. I'm sorry. He's wasted. Can't beat a man, can't cross the ball. Useless. I think he's better linking play. You know, we just spoke about someone to actually hold the ball up. He could be that sort of second striker, you know, behind Richarlison, because we all know Richarlison can't hold the ball up to save his life. He can't lay off a 5-yard pass to save his life, right? So I don't want to see Gallagher in the 10. I don't want to see Bergvall in the 10. I want to see an actual attacking threat that can get you a goal. Mawani can get you a goal. So obviously, I know that leaves the left back position. Obviously, Spencer's playing there now. I think the doggy might be back. Could be back. Play Sousa. Why did you spend 30 million on him? Play him. You know, we're down to the bare bones. And look, Luca Williams Barnett. I want to see him get a little 20 minutes. A little 20 minutes.
Cop. You're not gonna see any academy players. If he's gonna put James Maddison on the bench, you know full well he's looked at academy and gone neck.
Oh, boy, let's talk about that. Wait, hold on. Do you think it's better to have cheerleaders, or do you reckon it's better to be a cradle snatcher? Like,
Exactly.
Which one do you do? Do you take the babies, the academies, or do you take you just go like, Maddison vibes? Might as well get kudos for it.
What do you
Might as
think?
well put Kulu on there too. Might as well put Xavi on there next week and all. You know, exactly. But look, Marlon, like we all know why Maddison was on the bench that day, and it worked. It was to give the crowd a boost, to give the fans a boost. It worked. Psychology, it worked. Was Maddison on the bench on Saturday as well?
Yeah.
There you go, mind game. So but no, genuinely, we're down to the bare bones. It's not like we can play Maddison. We need players that can play. We play. Have Luca Williams Barnett on the bench. Give him a go. What other choice do we have? I'm not saying starting, but
listen, you're not the only fan saying that. A lot of people are saying. Anyway, I'll let our guest talk. Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan, what do you reckon?
Yeah, for me, I think it sort of makes sense to where we are when I'm genuinely saying like, Paulinho might be a bit of a threat here. Like that's the sort of level that we're at now, where a meathead centre mid is going to be our only goal threat. But that's literally where we're at. I think when we touched on there, Bentancur coming back into the side has definitely added that little bit of composure and calmness, which, as much as I love what Graham, Bergvall and Sarr could be right now, I feel like that is definitely missing. And I think he's probably the only deep dictator that we've got, bar maybe Basuma, but I don't really know how physically fit he is, but also with the amount of games he's lost this season. I'm not sure how much of an impact Basuma can come back in and be the main sort of like deep lying playmaker, whereas at the moment he's sort of shuttling for Bentancur, which has worked so far. But I guess the main thing for me, I was very much, especially under Frank, even when we was winning, I was very much like, the pivot of Paulinho and Bentancur is horrible to watch. Like we've gone from, say, Wanyama Dembele, or even like, which is a mad thing to say, you take wings from Sissoko right now. But like the mad thing is for me is like, when you look back at the games that we have won, it seemed to have been Bentancur and Paulinho. So was it just a case of Frank's super one-dimensional? Because we all complained about the lack of progression through central areas, etc. But was that literally just Frank? It seems too easy to blame Frank and say, no, I just wanted to whack it out wide, crosses, etc., etc. But maybe that actually was the case, because you've seen Bentancur's numbers go up straight away. And listen, he's never going to be the athlete that he is after the massive injuries that he's had. But we really desperately need him. And I guess touching on the whole Maddison, academy debate, for me, is an interesting one because it was the Europa League game. I can't remember who the two guys that came on were, and I can't even remember who we played against, but we had a massive impact come off the bench from like 2 or 3 academy players. I think it was Dami Ajayi and I can't remember who the other one was.
Scarlett.
But who, sorry?
Scarlett came on.
Yeah,
and
Dane
scored,
Scarlett.
and then,
Yeah. So
then Mikey Moore as well scored.
Yeah. So it's weird that for me it was a little bit. I get the whole man games thing of having Maddison on the bench because I was there against Brighton. So when he warmed up and you sort of felt that atmosphere of him being there, but it did feel a little bit weird that he's literally sat on the bench when he can't play. Like you could have him on the bench anyway. Like there's no reason that he has to take up an actual playing position where you've got Tynan Thompson that can play out on the right. Like I don't think academy players are the be all and end all and definitely the solution, but in a situation where we're at, I'm definitely erring on the side of I'd rather a player that can physically get on the pitch and run on the bench instead of Maddison. But we just got to hope Maddison comes back for at least the game after Villa, 20-minute cameos or something. But because right now the creativity problem is we've looked allergic to creating chances all season, and now it's going to get even worse.
Oren, the cheerleader on the sideline. Do you agree with it, or would you rather see an academy player out on the bench?
I think it's kind of like if an academy player comes in, what is he going to make an actual impact? And maybe he can come on, but like, Williams, Barnett, and is it a good idea to put any young player in a situation like this? Because what he's going for is experience. And is it the case of, I think Maddison wants to play, he's there for morale, but I think that's what De Zerbi has decided, because he said it all the way through since he started. It's about getting those players believing themselves and having cheerleaders. And I think the thing is, Spurs have enough players. It's just, because Archie Gray didn't come on. Bergville came on. And again, it's going to be kind of case of it's the front three that De Zerbi has to figure out who he plays. Well, actually, no, that picks itself till Colin Mwani and Richarlison. So again, I think Maddison, obviously the hindsight is, yes, have a player there that can bring on, but I don't think, even if it had an academy player, you wouldn't bring them on anyway, unless there's a catastrophic injury. So I think having Maddison, that's where he puts it in. It's like, right, I can have an academy player I'm going to bring on.
Unless there's what?
That?
Unless there's a what, did you say?
Catastrophic, massive injury on the game, within the game.
Oh, but like the two we had on Saturday,
Yeah, I think we all you never know. He might do it. He might bring Williams, Barnett and put him on the bench instead of Maddison to have someone there who can do something. So you're gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, I get his side of things, but personally, I guess the question you're asking me, what would I do? I would have an academy player, and pretty much if it's Williams, Barnett, I was like, look, kid, go make a name for yourself. You're no pressure. Do what you need to do. Yeah, and I don't think Maddison's going to play for the rest of the season. He's already had pain in his legs. You're asking him to come back without any warm up. I think Roddy Dragusin had behind doors games. Maddison hasn't any of that. I don't think he's going to be playing even for a 10 minutes. I think it's a case of if he comes on, that will just make the injury even worse and prolong it even longer.
So the big question is, Colin Mwani. And the reason why I'm asking, obviously he's got to play again now, right? And his performances have been...
He's weird. For the first 10 minutes, you're thinking, okay. And then he just decides, nah, I'm done. That's you can literally see it in his mind. I've tried this, I've tried that, hasn't worked, nah, I'm done. I can't be bothered. And that's why he got brought off. That's what De Zerbi said. De Zerbi basically said he had his first 10 minutes and then he went, I could see he couldn't get in the game, so I had to bring him off. But now, look, he's got to play him. So is Cole right? Have we got to play him in the number 10? I think you put him as a striker. The one thing I would give him credit, or Colin, is he hasn't played as a striker. He's played out wide, and he's playing for a team he's on a loan for. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going to impact him. You put him in the middle, you put Till on the right, you put Richarlison on the left, and you go, guys, just do shit for me. Just play. Run for each other, do whatever. Yeah, I think that's the only thing you can do. But the thing is, it's like all three of these players, as soon as things like Till keeps on trying, but Richarlison's head just drops. If he misses a couple of chances, his head drops. And then you have Colin, just like, nah, I'm done. 5 minutes, I'm done. It's like, I've never seen a player do that. But yeah, it's like
it's crazy because it's like, what do? Do you stick with Moani? And I think the reason why De Zerbi plays Moani is because he wants to play that can stretch play, someone that can kind of, he's got the legs to kind of, not to say he's going to do something with it.
Yeah, I get you.
At least he's the threat down the right hand side that can open up. And he spoke about going to dinner with man, like, raw man's doing up brunches with Moani, like, what's going on here? But at the same time, obviously he said that at Frankfurt.
Yeah,
it was Frankfurt. He said he saw him on the right wing. He saw him on the right wing, and he was showing them YouTube videos and Wisecap like clips to say, look, this is what you used to play like. I need that. Can you copy and paste and do that for me? And for whatever reason, like Oren said, first 10 minutes, he gets a shot off. He gets past his man. He gets across the box. And then he loses his confidence. But I'm hearing rumors. I don't believe it. But the rumor is that he's got a hamstring injury, innit? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, even if he does have a hamstring injury, and that could be the reason why because he couldn't even pass inside, like a simple pass inside. He was just, it's not the first time we've seen this. Do you get it? And it's like, you see glimpses of what Moani can do, and his confidence just goes. And like Marlon just said, the manager came out and said his confidence is just gone. I don't know what it is, don't know how to get it. So then do you say, should we just drop the whole wing system? I don't think De Zerbi's going to do that. But at Marseille, he did play with wing backs. So he put certain wingers as a wing back, and he kind of had like a 3-5-2 situation where you'd say, all right, cool, we're going to have Tell up front with Richarlison, do you know what I'm saying? And then the wing backs are going to have to be, like, you might put one of the academy guys. Like, I know everyone's going mad for Tynan Thompson, because he's been doing it at academy level. He scored goals. He takes his man on. He can go on the outside. He's got a similar build and athletic kind of build to maybe like a Matisse Tell. So they're saying, like, give him a run out. Do you know what I'm saying? I hear about Luca Barnett-Williams. He's more of a 10, but because we're lacking wingers, like T-team, it makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? To give him a run out. And beggars can't be choosers right now. You get it? We're desperate. Creativity is a massive issue. And we're going against Aston Villa. They're going to give us space. We're going to be able to run in behind. So it's like, what do? Do you not play with wingers and just play 2 10s and then just kind of pack out the midfield? Or do you keep to do what De Zerbi says? Because De Zerbi said he's trying to keep continuity, keep the same players, try to build some confidence, get some momentum going. Is it one of those ones? It's like, it's so hard to call. Like, or we could just try to do the set piece thing like we did. Set piece all the way, and hopefully that's enough to see us through. Stink out every single game. Ugly wins. But I just don't think that's sustainable to stay in the league. I don't think 4 games, we're going to do 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Yeah, we made it. I can't see that. I'll be real. I think we're going to need more than set pieces to stay in this league, guys.
100%. 100%. We're going to need to create from open play, and a midfield with Gallagher, Paulinho, and Bentancur. That's not going to link your midfield to your attack. I'm sorry. I mean, look, having Bentancur back does help. Don't get me wrong, because he can play those incisive passes. He's not scared to do that. But having 2 of that midfield is enough. They're just all too similar. There's no one with a creative hat on that can really, thread the ball through the line to the striker, to one of the wingers. There's no one that could really do that, apart from, like I say, Bentancur. So I don't want to see Gallagher. Bergwijn, I don't mind Bergwijn in the 10, but he's shown us enough that he can't actually do it. The thought of having Bergwijn in there actually makes sense on paper when you know the profile of player that he is and the technical ability that he can possess, but it just doesn't seem to work. Sunderland? He tried it in the 10 and it just didn't work, but I don't know. I really do feel like, I know we don't want to sort of make too many changes to the team that he's got in now, i.e. Spence playing at left back, so to move him to right mid sounds a bit wild, but I don't think it is. It's just taking one player from one position, putting in a natural left back, which will help us down the left anyway, because Spence just looks like he's got 2 right feet, which, you know, has been the case all along. Put him right mid, right wing, whatever. Listen, when he was at Forest, he was playing pretty much as obviously he was a right wing back, but he was so forward, so advanced. He can stretch. He's got the pace to do that. So I feel like he could definitely work there. Put Moani central. He's wasted on either wing. He's wasted. Put him central. He's a bit nifty with his feet in and around the box. He can link play, I'm sure, better than the likes of Bergwijn and Gallagher. And I don't think that's too much change. But I'm not sure he's going to do that. I don't know. We've never really tried Porro and Spence starting down the right. I've never seen him do that. When have we done that?
Yeah.
On the Tudor.
Pardon?
It was, again, Tudor was in charge, wasn't he? He put, and
was he?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Was it?
Yeah, horrible. Because like I can't remember what team it was. Hopefully, chat can help me out. But it was, I think it was a team that it was at home, and he played Spence and Porro on the same side, and it didn't work because they're too defensive. They're not naturally attacking, so they didn't know where to be and how to. You know, it's not something. It's something that has to be drained, put in.
Yeah.
The thing is about playing Destiny Dogie still got injured.
It was Forest.
Forest. Okay, Forest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Got hammered 3-0.
Porro was right wing, and then Spence was fullback or right mid, whatever you want to call it. It was and we lost 3-0.
And so it just backfired badly. So,
Kyle, you saying to put Spence right wing?
Yes.
As opposed to Porro, because with Porro, he doesn't have the ability to
beat a man
on 1v1. He doesn't have that ability to go on the outside.
Exactly.
He can make inside runs, he can overlap, he can underlap, and then hit crosses. But if he's 1v1 to stand his man up and then go on the outside, he hasn't got that ability. So he's better operating from deep, playing as a right back, even though he's not as good defensively, but offensively, he could tuck in, play a little bit of a back three at times, and then he can run in those inside channels, overlap, and then hit crosses and arrive in those spaces to find those balls. But to ask him to operate as a wide midfielder or a right wing back or a right back, it's too much. I know at Sporting he was there, but the Portuguese league versus
League,
I think he plays a left back.
Left back would have to be Souza, because Souza he's got the up and down. You played him against Liverpool, he was all right. So
played him at right back, or played him up front.
Right wing.
Man United, he came on and you can see that he's up and down, he's rapid. Got a cross on him as well with his left foot. So it's not too much of a risk, if that makes sense. So we could do it. It's just an option. Otherwise, you have Spence at left back, and basically what will happen is he doesn't run beyond. You know, you said you like runners off the players, isn't it? Sometimes Spence, when he runs beyond, he runs in the inside channel and he doesn't always cut back or he doesn't cross it first time. So then that creativity on that left-hand side is hindered because of his lack of
left foot.
Yeah, lack of left foot. Do you know what I'm saying?
And with him playing left back as well, it also means whoever's on the left wing has to hold the width. Then if that's Richarlison or whoever, like, they just can't do it. That's why it was working with Udogie and Simmons, because it was Udogie that could hold wide and Simmons come inside. You can't have the two players in them like lateral spaces because it just clogs up everything. I also really wouldn't be surprised if he might go look at the Europa League final when Sarr played it as like a box crashing 10, and he might even try to do Gallagher wide again. Under Tudor, it was horrible, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking at every option and that it might go, because obviously the thing about Gallagher, especially under De Zerbi, since, listen, I'm probably his biggest hater, but the one thing he does well is come back and defend. The issue with if it's Kolo Muani there, if you then got Kolo Muani and Richarlison high up, and then how quickly do you get an overloaded midfield with just Palhinha and Bentancur? Especially look at Villa's runners in midfield; they got a powerful midfield as well.
Look at here, bro. Just to back up your point, you got Gallagher. He's the one pointing in this 4-4-2 pressing.
Yeah.
He's the one organising, and he's telling actually Basuma and he's telling Simmons where to go in the press. He's saying, "Raw, I need you guys to jump here." You can see they're playing in a 3-2-5 kind of shape, and that's where the players are jumping on. Do you get it? So Gallagher on the ball, yeah, we know his flaws, but maybe as a coach, they're seeing him run like a maniac, pressing, lots of energy, organising the shape off the ball. So we do focus a lot about on the ball as fans, isn't it? We look about, what are they doing on the ball? We don't really focus about our defensive shape. And look here, I'm just showing that they had like a back five here sometimes, a kind of mid to low block. And we had to find our way. We had to sometimes pass it backwards to find the spare man, because when you try to play and break teams down and they're playing with a low to mid block, it's not easy to get through it. So certain times we would recycle the ball, go back to Van der Ven. Van der Ven will go across and we would switch it out to that right-hand side, and you can see them shifting over their block. Every time they sit into a block, we pass it backwards, and then we try to shift it across really quickly to find a spare man through like little third man combinations. And I know we're not doing too much tactics under De Zerbi, but you can see already when we're playing against low blocks, we need to kind of move them from left to right quickly, because Aston Villa will do a mid to low block at times. And I'm saying Gallagher here, doing the underlapping runs. Bentancur sometimes will fire the ball over into that kind of half space pocket. Moani's meant to be there in that space there, arriving, but sometimes the move breaks down. But you're just seeing here again, we found it hard to break them down, but that was essentially the idea. We're trying to break down their low block, move the ball from left to right, and then fire balls across into the area. Do you know what I mean? But just quickly before I finish, I was going to get to this last point. Sometimes in the block on the left-hand side, you can see, look, Xavi in space. He's got his hands up, like, look at me, pick me, pick me. Once that ball's fired across, that's when the space arrives. And we've done this before. I remember we did this against Sunderland, and that's how Richarlison got his chance. Here, this time, Xavi Simmons is on the left. He gets his chance on that left-hand side, and then he matches up 1v1 against the fullback. And then once he takes him on the fullback, he has to do better, in my opinion. He has to get that shot on target, and he kind of just roofs it over the net. But again, I can see now we haven't got Xavi Simmons. The natural progression for me would be, whether we like it or not, Matthias Tel.
I think it has to be.
Yeah. Just
But
looking
then-
at... Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, on the other wing, obviously, if you're then, the idea is to leave your two wingers as the guys that then have the space. Who goes on the right wing? That's the issue.
Well, this is it. Like, this is what I was saying at the start. I mean, as bad as... Well, we haven't got many options. That's why the Tynan Thompson is a real debate, because at least he's got the profile that 1v1 he will take his man on, 1v1 he will run beyond his man, and then on the right hand side you could possibly use Tel again, because he does have a lot of energy. He does go down that side. So, like you were saying, maybe throw a Spence there. I don't know. Those are the options we're playing with. Or unless De Zerbi abandons that completely, which he's been working on for weeks. And I said he's trying to create continuity in his style. He's not trying to overload them with tactics. So I can't see him changing all of a sudden. Is to abandon the wingers and play with 2 10s. Do you know what I mean? Even though we don't naturally have 2 10s, so pack out the midfield. So that's the dilemma at the moment. So I agree with you guys. I think you got to put an academy player there. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't have Maddison that's got pain in his knee, and then we don't use him. And then what happened against Brighton? We used all of our subs. What happens if we get another injury, like someone breaks down and we need to use a sub, and then Maddison's our last sub? We're doomed.
Yeah.
We're doomed. Do you know what I'm saying? At one point, I remember when Xavi celebrated and then he got fatigue and he had to go like lay down for a bit, and then he tried to play on. We basically had 10 men. Do you get it? We had 10 men. We were defending with 10 men, and that's when we conceded the goal. But if we had another player to bring on, then it would have, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's,
Spurs had made all their subs. That's why.
Yeah, I know. That circumstances dictated the substitutions. But I'm saying, if we're going to Aston Villa and we've been put in that predicament again, like hopefully you'd want a player that's physically able to come on and even like be a warm body to defend if you have to do a 4-4-2 block.
But that's the thing. It's like if Spurs makes all their subs, then they can't bring a player on anyway. That's what happened against Brighton.
Yeah, I know that was a. You're missing the point. But yeah,
I get your point.
I
get your point. Just saying, like, it's kind of like if Spurs make all their 5 subs and the player gets injured anyway, then there's nothing they can do because if the 5 subs have been made. The ideal situation would have been bringing Xavi off, but they couldn't because they had made all their substitutions already.
I'm talking about Aston Villa, like to have
Aston Villa, like again.
I agree with you. You're right.
Yeah, just like, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, just
I get what you're saying. I'm just letting you know.
It's Villa. Thing is, I think he will play the same team. Although he was assuming because he's injured. I think Joe Polina might start over him. Conor Gallagher will keep his place, and then it's just a front 3. Again, it's all about
Moani looks like he's out.
Brilliant. Well, there you go then.
So that rumour's eating up then.
Conspiracy.
So let's talk
about injuries, guys. What do you not reckon it is? Is it the stadium? Is it the stadium? Is it the pitch?
Well, that's the thing.
Or is it? Go on. Sorry, go on. I'm going to say it.
These injuries didn't happen at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, though. It happened at Wolves. So you know, it's just.
I'm going back to Sessegnon days. I'm going back to Perisic. After the season, come back, won the whole title. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here? I'm seeing guys like Solomon couldn't play a game for us. And then he survived in the whole season. I said, what's going on? Let's sell so. Bro, hey, listen.
It's personally, I think it's a mixture of a lot of issues, but I do think the fact that apparently our pitch, like if you compare us and I believe it's Real Madrid have like the most ACL injuries across Europe, and we're the only 2 teams that have retractable pitches, and there's obviously a science behind the grass and there not being so much soil underneath the retractable pitch. And then you think to yourself, like, did we give it much thought when we done the design of the stadium? You know, like, were there... Yeah, exactly. Were they just thinking, well, we need to create a pitch that is easy and quick to retract and bring the NFL pitch on because it's all about money, it's all about entertainment? Were they really thinking about the longevity of the players' welfare? You know, were they really thinking about the effects that this pitch has on the players? Apparently, Real Madrid are doing an investigation into this because they've had countless ACLs, and most of their ACL injuries have actually happened in their pitch or at their training ground, and their training grounds obviously mimicked, to sort of suit their pitch. Now, on our ACL injuries, like you've alluded to, not all of our ACL injuries have occurred at our stadium. But Oren, what I would say to that is, it doesn't. I don't know. I just feel like perhaps the impact of constantly playing on our pitch every other week, it can take its toll over time. It might not happen that particular week, but it just might take a random week next week at the Molineux or wherever you are, and oh shit, yeah, my knee's gone. But really, it's the effect of our training, our pitch. There's got to be something to that, and obviously the medical staff are just shit, obviously. So I just feel like there's a mixture of things, but it's just and our luck. I just don't know. I just feel like if we're gonna get relegated, this is the year because everything's against us. Injuries after injuries. I don't know, guys. I don't know, but yeah, I feel like there's a science and I feel like there's a reason behind these injuries. To be honest. Oh God. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I think just touching on the injuries quickly as well. I see a thing on Twitter today. It was like our head of medical something or some sort of science was there from like 2018 to 23. Or no, maybe a little bit before that. And we had like the best availability rate in all the big 6. And then the rumor is that him and Ange had a falling out, and then he left. And then since that, obviously, you guys are saying about the intensity and the high line and stuff, whatever. But there's also a thing to look at that after this guy leaves, and assuming his team or his method or anything like that leave as well, it seems to drastically deteriorate since he goes.
Was that the period when we moved into the stadium? But when Ange came, that basically we didn't have as many injuries, so everyone's blaming the pitch now. But we've been in the stadium for so long.
I'm trying to remember. Bentancur got injured against Aston Villa.
Leicester.
Wasn't it at Villa or Leicester? Was it at
Leicester.
Leicester?
That
was
was
at Leicester.
Matty Cash snapped his leg, though, wasn't it?
No, that was after.
That was when he came back.
Came back, right? So, but he got injured against Leicester.
Leicester, yeah, because that was Conte's downfall.
Yeah, Madison got injured while on the friendly game in China.
Yeah.
Odegaard.
Odegaard was at home.
It's Odegaard and is it Dragishin?
Dragishin Kulu as well. But Odegaard's was more of like an impact injury, wasn't it? It was more like it was a collision, wasn't it? I think, it was like a curious tackle.
Roddy Dragishin was away in Europe, wasn't it?
At home. Dragishin was at home. Home in Europe, yeah. Look,
but
there is questions. Go on, Jordan.
I was just saying, just backing up what Carl said. You play on that pitch 19 games in the league plus however many in the FA Cup and Champions League. You play more time, close to 30 games on that pitch every season. It doesn't have to be that the actual injury happens
and it'll be at the training ground as well. That's the bit that's the main bit, because that's where they're training every day, and they've always said they'll always try and make the home pitch exactly like the training ground pitch, so they'll be playing there as well. So it might not be something to do with retractable grass, but it might have something to do with the grass they're trying to use. If that makes some sort of sense.
I think literally the impact, if you've got a steel plate underneath soil, or even like, okay, so Carl said, was it 3 meters or 3 centimeters of soil versus 10 centimeters of soil that normal pitches have? If you're accelerating and then decelerating, and then that shock, you're meant to take the shock when you stop, when you do stop-start, your tendons will take that shock, if that makes sense. So like,
everyone's using that physio that was on Fighting Cock, I think it was, and he basically tried to debunk the whole pitch scenario. I haven't listened to it, but that's where everyone's saying it can't be the pitch, because what he's saying as a physio, it can't be the pitch. But it's just, if Real Madrid are looking into it, it'd be interesting to see what they come back with.
That's why I get an independent body. Just have another look.
It's like, you see, I was just relearning, because I met masseuse years ago, and a personal trainer. He used to train football. I was like, how does an ACL? And basically, it happens like in rugby as well. So it's like an ACL is when you suddenly do something that the body isn't ready for. So like, even going on Google and looking it up, it's kind of like poor technique, weak muscles, poor training, and then proper technique. Jumping.
So it's just those.
It's what? No. There's been other ACL injuries, but it's about getting. Each player has to get their bodies right and condition right, because it happens in rugby as well. Not as often, but it frequently happens, because when a player goes to sidestep off a foot and he twerks.
Does it happen in the women's game a lot as well? Is it recently?
Yeah, I think so. That's been linked to women in their monthly time of the month, because their bodies are weaker, iron and stuff. So that's what they discovered. And I do understand that maybe the pitch wouldn't help, but I think also, if you're going to look at the pitch, you're going to look at what the players wear as well. Their footwear. Is football boots too light? They wear blades. They don't wear studs, so there's a lot less grip. So basically, like, if you look at James Maddison, every time he passed, he looked like he was going to pop his knee, because it's really bent in. So it could possibly, the pitch not entirely helping, but I think it's just a case of you can blow if you're doing a high impact sport and you're stepping off all of a sudden, your body isn't ready, then it's going to pop. And I think it's with hamstring as well. You need to. It's all about how you warm your legs up. The whole thing. Like in rugby, to prevent ACL, and I think in NFL as well, when the players get taken off for a bit, they will go on a bike and just keep their body in motion, because again, it's like going from cold to hot. Even with the hamstring injuries, yes, that was to do with Angie and having to sprint back, but again, it's basically, it's like a rubber band. So you gotta, like, a lot of people don't, it's like a rubber band, so you gotta heat it up. If you go from start to finish with a cold rubber band, it'll just snap. So you got to heat it up. So I think it's like when I saw Xavi and how he hyperextended, it was like he was running and then he was trying to do something, and it was like his foot just landed awkwardly. It was just, and you can just tell straight away he was gone. There was no coming back from it. I even thought for a second, no, he's overplaying, but I was like, nah, he's. When you saw the replay, it was like, yeah. So that's how it happens. Again, I'm not dismissing the pitch idea, but I just think players today have to really up their conditioning and understand how to. I mean, fuck, it doesn't even matter. Van de Ven hasn't pulled his hamstring this season. Probably didn't.
There's an update on Kudos. He's opted against taking the club's advice to undergo surgery. There's fears he could be out for a very long time if he does undergo surgery.
Yeah,
he wants to play the World Cup, doesn't he?
That's basically what it is.
And then what he will do is another player that we'll have in the Championship because he'll get injured and then we'll have to keep him.
Exactly.
Benefits.
Maybe this is a thing. Maybe there's been a whisper.
There is a world though where like some of these players still get bought, but just for lower prices because the wage bill is crazy. I don't think you can have a certain amount of wages in the Championship unless you take a hit like Leicester did, and you take a points deduction.
Yeah, but they're all going to be 50%, aren't they? Like cut. So you know, so we can keep some of the players that will, once they're back, actually help us get promoted.
This is where Daniel Levy and his whole keeping them on low wages is going to benefit because the only person that's really going to be suffering is Conor Gallagher. The rest of them,
probably a price cut.
Yeah.
See, Daniel Levy knew that once he left, Tottenham would get relegated. So he goes, right, I know you all hate me now, but when they get relegated, that's when you'll remember me.
I think the two, three. I think there's 2 or 3 players that will probably need to sell, which will be Xavi, Conor Gallagher, and Romero.
Yeah.
The rest of them, like Van de Ven's wages are ridiculously low. He could play the Championship, but if he goes half price, he's going to get sold anyway. But I'm just saying, I think if you actually look at I think from what I've been hearing, what people say, if you look at our finances, we only need to sell 2 or 3 players to cope in the Championship and be able to pass their EFL, So people like James Maddison, Kudos, and all them, I don't think they're going to make a massive impact on what we have to do, especially if we sell Romero for more than 50. Van de Ven will be more than 50. That's 2 gone already. That's 100 million that they don't need to spend. And then they've got Mikey Moore coming back and all them.
Would you not use Mikey Moore in the Championship? And
of course.
Vuskovic as well, man.
Would you take Troy Parrott up top, get Lancashire, and everyone's hyping Lancashire?
I wouldn't take too many of them. Remember, Parrott. Yeah, I know
Parrott. So which one's he taking? Like, who's coming back from the loan, and you're like saying, "All right, Championship."
Mikey Moore, Vuskovic. I'd buy back Parrott if there's an option there. Where's what's his name now? Divine. Where's he?
He's at Preston.
Bristol. Well, Bristol City or Rovers?
Preston.
Oh, Preston. Sorry. Okay, so that's Championship. So he's used to it. He's probably not been playing, but
see, that's the thing. This is all master planned. Get these players out and loan the Championship side. Then Spurs get relegated. Use them. And then you come back up again. Do
you think some of those youngsters are ready for Championship? Because we were loaning them to like League One and League Two. So it's like Championship's not easy. I know everyone's talking about Championship will be a breeze, but there's a lot of season.
It will be after December when all our players come back.
So we think we're going to struggle the first half of the Championship.
Might as well.
Clearly.
We got to keep the story going. Keep the story alive.
Guys, the fact that we're laughing about something so serious.
I was like, but think about it. If Spurs go down, the Championship's going to get watched. Like it'll be talked about. Like if West Ham went, think about the teams that went down, Newcastle, West Ham, all of them. You kind of forget the media forgot about them. But if Spurs
not so much Newcastle. Newcastle is a big thing.
And then I was listening to a guy talk about it, and he's like, that stadium will be packed out every weekend, even if it's not Spurs can be playing Preston. They'll have loads of fans coming to the stadium, like loads and loads of fans, because it will be like a day out. They get that's
the away support, but the home support
we would.
The home. I don't think we'll fill it.
Yeah, I don't think we'll fill it.
Not the home.
The prices. We're going to get new Spurs. You're going to get new Spurs fans.
The Lincoln fans are saying Tottenham, ole, ole, ole. Tottenham,
No, Coventry
ole,
come up with the
ole.
best song. Coventry win song of the weekend. I don't care what anyone says. Have you heard this?
No.
No.
They basically started singing to Wrexham. We're going to Arsenal. You're going to Tottenham. Basically.
Oh,
Next season. Yeah, I could give Coventry credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Can we talk about this West Ham situation? This penalty thing. What do you not make of that? Is that bad luck or what? What's going on?
Did you see the Pickford one as well, though? Because they should have had a penalty as well.
I was going to show that next. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
a penalty.
crazy.
That's
was that a penalty or what is that like?
That's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
penalty.
It's a penalty. But it doesn't matter because they went and scored straight after and then still conceded. So this was at 1-0. So Everton still went and got their goal.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And then
So
they still ended up
it
conceding.
counts as it out. It counts as it out basically.
Yeah. I mean, I get your theory there. However, we all know in real, like, let's say Everton did get the penalty there and they scored it and it was 1-1. We do know the same sequence of events would not have happened because it would have been a different.
But,
you know,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Say that 1-1. You know,
what I'm getting at is that the game still went to 1-0 at some point.
I get
in the
you.
game.
Yeah, and they still conceded.
The outcome, I'm generally thinking the outcome it might not be the same. I'm not sure, but if that is, was it Fernandez's, would he have been sent off for this because it was his second yellow card?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'm more looking at it because it was at 1-0, and then what the events that happened after that. I'm looking at it going, it doesn't really matter. What you kind of have to take in these situations is what do people want from VAR? And what I mean by that is it's gone with the referee's decision. Everybody was moaning last season. VAR's getting involved too much. Okay, admittedly, yes, they've made a mistake here, but now that it's going with the referee's decision, you want VAR to get involved. Like, this is the bit that people need to kind of get around their head. And yes, this happens, but it's a case of when you're down at the bottom, when you're in that situation, the decisions are always going to go against you. How many decisions go against Man City? How many decisions, no matter what they say, go against Arsenal? Hardly any. Liverpool, when they were winning stuff and Salah was diving all over the place, they were getting them. But as soon as you're down at the bottom, like Wolves complaining, you saw Wolves complaining about VAR yesterday. They've always been down at the bottom. it's just one of those things. And I think what Spurs fans, because we've never been in this situation, we've always been on the good receiving end of them. No matter what I know there's been certain situations where we've been diabolical, but we've received a lot as well. And we just kind of need to take a mix of the two and just go, look, until we're putting it in the back of the net, we can't really complain about refs. Because I always say against Sunderland, it was a terrible ref. He was crap. And I get people go, but we had 3 chances to put it in the back of the net and we didn't. That's what we should be moaning about in that sense.
I agree, mate, because, you know, I hear people saying, oh, there's a conspiracy against us. Oh, everyone wants us relegated. The refs, I don't buy that. And I don't even care. Even if they do, so what? That shouldn't be enough to get us relegated. We should be good enough to, you know, counteract these bad decisions. You know, these bad decisions on their own should not be enough to send us down. You know, the fans that argue that point and say that everyone's against us, the Premier League, the pundits, like you say there, like you said there, Marlon, they're overlooking the fact that this squad is the reason why we're down here, not the referees. So
even with this decision, okay, everyone. When I first saw it, I did think it was a sentence. I did think he went in 2-footed. But what helps him out is that Basuma slips.
Yeah.
And then if you also look at his left leg, he tries to pull it back. And then that's the reason why I think they don't send him off. If he would have got a red card, he would have got a red card. But again, the way Spurs are playing, if they'd have gone down to 10 men, the score's probably still the same now in us. Because look at the players we had out there. Do we end up opening our Wolves up? I don't know. Maybe we are, maybe we don't. But it's just one of those things.
I mean, look. Yeah, I mean, if he gets sent off, that's their best player, isn't it? So we probably do.
He's a player as well.
Yeah, he was really good. He's a really good
crazy. It's crazy still. You know what? You're right. I think if he doesn't slip,
it's Basuma slipping. Yeah, it's Basuma slipping that helps him out.
Yeah.
When Basuma slipped, I went, but then he probably gets injured if he doesn't slip.
Yeah, he does get injured if he doesn't slip, and I think it's the loss of control of the ball, isn't it? If they don't feel that the player's got the control of the ball, that ultimately affects the decision. And that's why he got the yellow card, innit? That's what the refs are saying anyway.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, nah, man, that's got to be if Romero did that, they check him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hold on. We were forgetting about Romero against Brentford, where he pulls the player back and he doesn't get sent off. We just conveniently forget that, yeah.
If Romero makes a tackle, it's a whole lot different because Romero's got booked for making a tackle and winning the ball. And it's still hold against him. I get what you're saying against Brentford, but Romero's gone in for a tackle that.
But Romero gets away with it. I think a lot of people like to throw that out, but Romero does get away with a lot.
He does, yeah.
And it's just when he gets caught, that's the problem. And when he gets caught, he gets the book thrown at him. But when we actually look at it and look at the bigger picture, Romero gets away with a lot, and he never gets booked for it. He never gets nothing for it, and you just kind of go, we again, our Spurs fans will ignore it. We'll ignore it because it's going for us.
I think the thing was Romero, he goes, yeah, I can get away with it. So he just eggs him on.
Yeah.
Like, just how much can I push this ref?
But like when he pulled Cucurella's hair that time, like we were all celebrating.
Yeah, but at the same time, we can say against was it Sunderland? He got pushed, didn't it? And then obviously he had to come off.
Probably should have been sent off. But,
exactly. So,
but the line was, if it's Romero gets away with it just as much as everybody else.
No, but if Romero been a push, you would have got it sent off. You know, Romero.
Probably not, because in certain situations,
you would have got.
But there's been certain situations where Romero has pushed someone and got away with it.
When has he pushed someone?
Could be many games, man. Just go watch the whole season.
Yeah. When? Tell me when.
I gave you Thiago against Brentford, but you didn't like it. He literally should have been sent off, and we all went, "Oh, okay."
I think the thing is with Romero, it's like we've talked about this before. I get what you're saying, Marlon. Like I think with Romero though as well that it all depends on the reputation. He's got a reputation. So I noticed that like it all depends on the ref. They go in with the mind saying, right, I've got to keep an eye on Romero, and I've got to because Romero mouths as well when he gets really angry.
He's in there.
And so basically it's like kind of if he makes a bold tackle or whatever, it's like, right, I'm going to give you a yellow card just to calm down. But he just, he just does what he does. But yeah, Kingsley, let's talk about Kingsley. I mean, this is a guy who everyone thought that he would never play again. And he's came in and he's done well. Like, as I said earlier, the Spurs defense don't look as, I don't know, it just looks calm. Personally, I just think it looks calm. And he's hold everything else. He doesn't make it against Philly. He's probably going to fuck up. Just hi guys, remember? But the question is, does Vicario come back and replace him straight away? Because even the passing, I'm noticing that his passing, he's able to fire.
That's what he's known for.
No, but what I'm saying after the errors that he did, you wouldn't think that he would still try and attempt those passes, but he still is doing it. Slowly the confidence is coming back to fire the ball.
Yeah, but he was doing it against Sunderland. I think with Kingsley, I think the whole Madrid thing, I think after the whole pitch thing and everyone realised Barcelona and other clubs have had the same difficulty. I get what you're saying, but if Kingsley doesn't play with his feet, he's not a very good goalkeeper after that, because that's what he's known for. That's what he was brought in for. So I get what you're saying, but when he came against Sunderland, he did the same. He did the same thing against Brighton. It's just what I found more important with what he did on Saturday was the most important part. It wasn't even the free kick. It was when Van der Ven and Dadson messed up.
And he came out. Yeah.
That's where I don't trust Vicario.
Yeah, Vicario was deciding to catch it outside the box or something stupid.
Yeah, just down there.
Yeah. Decides to play left back against Fulham or something stupid, yeah.
That's the question though, do you like... Because again, if Spurs get to the championship, Kingsley's a perfect keeper. He'd be the perfect keeper.
On a market for a keeper. Yeah, championship, I hear it. Outside of championship, I think they still go in for another keeper. So we have been into Trafford, Verbrugge, and the Bradford, a few goalkeepers we're looking at. But again, I think we're linked to, is it a Blackburn goalkeeper? I can't remember. I think there's like a Blackburn keeper. I can't remember the guy's name, but we're linked to another keeper in a lower division. So they're clearly looking at that position.
I hope it's not Trafford. I don't get the hype over the what everyone sees.
Yeah, I'm not a Trafford fan.
No.
I think he's a championship goalkeeper, and I think he got found out very early on in his City career. I don't know why Pep went back. I was really shocked.
It's the same thing that most keepers play. Managers want the keeper playing from out the back, innit? So
Yeah.
that's what it is, really.
Pep's
But
like a genius.
I think Kinski, though, to be fair to him, like we've always said this on corners, set pieces, you just feel a bit more assured when he's in the box. It's a lot more commanding. Like he's gonna jump over, tower over his defender, claim it, or try to punch it. He's not gonna be as shaky as Vicario. So that's another reason why, like, I think even if Vicario was to come back, Kinski might be able to cement his place. And obviously, he's got the whole thing. He's still healing up, innit? Well, so they say, innit? I don't know what you lot think about that.
He ain't coming back.
Yeah, I think he's checked out, man.
I think he's gone. He wants to go back to Italy, and I think the main thing, the kind of one thing they used to say about Vicario, even on the end, was like, yeah, he's a little bit shaky, but he's a great shot stopper, and that's fair. This season, I think I see a stat he's let in like 8 goals that should have been saved, or something like a crazy stat where that shot, if you've got like the one redeeming factor about your game, and you then can't produce that consistently, it's sort of like not really sure what you're bringing. I think his distribution, obviously he's had the hernia or the groin, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's definitely affected his distribution. And I do think under De Zerbi, it's a little bit more automated, so his angles are going to be a little bit more in his favour. But there was a weird thing that I noticed, and obviously this is before the injury thing came out. He's right-footed, but decided to just keep smashing it long with his left. And it was just like, no one really understood what he was doing, whether it was like an instruction from coaches or whatever. Obviously, it's come out since about the hernia thing, but it's like, at what point can your keeper physically not even get it within a targeted area? Do you then go, all right, maybe we look at another keeper? Do you know what I'm saying?
Does anyone think it's just like a lack of confidence? The reason why he went downhill?
Vicario.
Yeah.
Yeah, massively. You see, obviously, are you talking before that Fulham catastrophe or after? Because obviously before that he was just normal Vicario. You know, he was making the odd, goal saving, goal preventing save, and he was letting the clanger. It's just been Vicario, throughout his whole sort of 3 years at Spurs. But after the Fulham and after the fan backlash, yes, you definitely saw a sort of downturn in his confidence and his performances after that. And yeah, I mean, Vicario would always give you a 7 out of 10 after that Fulham game. I promise you, probably weren't even giving us a 5. Like Jordan said, his distribution has always been atrocious, but kicking out with your left foot is so unnatural. Personally, I feel like if he is fit to come back, I feel like De Zerbi is going to stick with Kinski for the pure fact that Kinski's way better with his feet, and that's how De Zerbi likes to, he likes his keepers to actually have great distribution, but at the same time, he's also not afraid to chop and change keepers. At Brighton, he used to change between Steele and Verbruggen quite often. So he might bring Vicario back in, see how he does. If he flops, brings Kinski back in. That's the least of our concerns. We need to score goals.
Well, here they've got Richarlison. He's a top goal scorer now. They've got the top goal scorer.
We need Richarlison.
What do you mean now? He's been our top goal scorer for 3 months.
That's what I mean. He's the only goal scorer now. So those 9 goals.
Exactly.
This is exactly what you want.
Does anyone think if Thomas Frank was still in charge, he would be in the same position, or do you think he would have us higher up?
Slightly higher.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon the board should have had more backbone? Or does anyone disagree? Does anyone disagree with these two?
I think I disagree, I think I do. I think it's not even just the results, but the performances felt like we was back at... Like, I hadn't been that tapped out of a Tottenham performance since, I think it was Sheffield knocked us out of the cup under Conte. And it was like everything was just horrible to watch. I think it's hard to say, obviously, it's hindsight, it's injuries, etc., etc. But we had Kudus, which is probably our biggest asset and outlet now, under Frank, and that's sort of the only thing that we had. So I don't know at what point. Obviously, I don't want to say it's on Frank or the the difference would be if we kept Frank. If maybe Tudor wasn't brought in and it was decided either you stay with Frank or you get De Zerbi in earlier, that's where I think we would have gone up the table a little bit more.
We'd only be about 3 or 4 points better off, by the way. Like there would be no wins. Just
That's
more
out of
draws.
the relegation zone, though. That's out of the relegation zone. That's
Exactly.
that's
So I was just good. So we still lose to Arsenal. Yeah. I think we draw against Fulham because you'd stink it out. Because like you did against Brentford. Palace probably would have been a draw. Van de Ven, he would have stunk that out and it would have been at home. Atletico probably wouldn't have been as bad as it was. Right, we were playing better in the Champions League. Liverpool, we probably would have lost. I think we would have lost to Liverpool. Atletico at home not included, and I think we would have drawn to Forest.
Yeah,
because we would have stunk it out again. Because he would have literally been. And Sunderland, I think we still lose.
I don't know, man. I just think there's a lot to do with like the players' mentality and the way they reacted to him. Because I feel like the players, he'd lost them. In my opinion, I think he'd lost them. So I'm not sure.
You know what I'm looking at? I look at the City game, which was only 2 games before he got sacked, and they managed to somehow get themselves up in the second half and get him out for that. And
also, I think the fans not turning up. I think that was a big thing. Like,
the fans. Yeah, but they weren't. But then they hired. What's his name? Tudor. Forgot his name. Like,
Tudor.
That's what I said, guys. Like we just wrote off 5 games. Like literally, like you said, there, Marlon. I think we would have got 2 or 3 extra points than where we would, I'm not saying it would have been pretty. No. I'm just saying. I'm looking at. I'm not saying we would have won any, and I get that everyone's blaming this is on Frank, but actually this is a little bit on Frank, but the rest is on Lange and Fink because January was there, the injuries were there, and they decided not to help anybody.
But you lot said there's no players to get. There's no one to get. Every time I talk about players, you're like, nah, but who's gonna come? Who can fix this mess?
So not by Lookman was
yeah, the Lookman thing was crazy.
He's injured by the way now. He's injured now.
Of course.
Oh, he's injured.
Even being linked to Spurs gets you injured. Fucking hell. I think the guy, the Camber guy, the young defender, I think he's injured too. Mikey Moore was injured for a bit too.
Internal bleeding in his knee.
He just got to be linked to Spurs to get injured. He didn't even have to play for the club. That's how bad things are.
But looking at this table, guys, I'll bring it up properly. I'll bring it up. But where's the wins, man? I mean, where's the wins? Who's dropping points?
All of that. You know what? Last week we went through this. I don't fucking know. Football is so mad. It's this season. Like, if you look at it as a fan, I know we're looking at the Spurs fan, but we don't know because we can expect West Ham to lose against Arsenal and they beat Arsenal. That's how messed up the season's been. Like, you can't call it.
No, I think it was Jordan that said it when the clubs in the last how many games? One loss. So all of them hit form at the wrong time for Tottenham.
I mean, Chelsea could possibly beat Forest. Newcastle, United. But Newcastle are sliding. Brentford.
Do you count Forest in this run-in? Because
they're still there.
100%.
If Spurs beat Aston Villa, Forest are back in it.
They're still there. It's just a case of.
Anyone see us beating Aston Villa? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, you gotta believe,
bro. If we it all depends. Do you know what? I said this. It all depends on the result on Thursday. That Thursday is going to be massive. To what? Because it's going to Forest and Villa are going to have to make a decision.
All right, let me frame it a different way.
And we've got De Zerbi.
Scores for Tottenham. How many goals?
First penalty, bro.
First penalty.
First penalty.
What we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
But who takes the penalty? Realistically.
Honestly, Kingsley takes the penalty.
Honestly,
Tell.
There you go,
Richarlison is not bad.
All of a sudden, we're gonna get
Spurs will get 3 penalties, and Colin Mamani will miss one. Richarlison won this one.
You know what? You know what the redemption will be, yeah? If we got one penalty we get, Tell takes it, right? And it's the one that helps us survive after his whole
the one that missed
the Super Cup,
final.
I like that story, man. I like that.
Even better. Conor Gallagher smashes one from 25 yards.
It's like this, baby. This is real life. This is Tottenham.
Look, Villa will get some lucky deflection. Chelsea will be Conor Gallagher special.
Yeah.
Leeds are going to beat Burnley, so they're good to safe. They'll be safe by the time of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know who's not really been spoken about, and it's a bit crazy. Newcastle are only 2 points ahead of Leeds, you know.
Yeah.
And they've still got to play Forest and West Ham, and then Brighton and Fulham as well.
So we've got basically win. If we were to win all ours and then they were to win all of theirs, Newcastle are a bit fucked.
Newcastle lost the last 5.
Yeah.
They're on 42 points though, guys.
Lost 4 in the league and then 7-2 to Barcelona. But yeah, they haven't won since 14th of March.
Wow.
We're on 34 points. They're on 42. Just to let you know. 8 points. 8 points.
Yeah, but we need 12. We just need 12 points, Ash.
So what? 4 wins, yeah? Is that what we're saying?
Right, it's De Zerbi
Wow,
time,
that's the record.
That's the thing. I think it's like, it's going to be.
Take it away, Oren. Go on.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. 1-0. Doesn't matter if you're playing good. I think the most important thing is that Spurs don't lose. That's what it's all about. Don't lose. Get a goal, but you don't lose. And I think with West Ham, against who do they play against before this weekend?
I'll bring it back up. Hold on.
Burnley. No, Wolves.
Crystal Palace.
Wolves.
Was it Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Crystal Palace and Wolves, yeah.
Palace, they just made sure they didn't lose that game.
Yeah, no.
You know, so against, say, the likes of Arsenal, they'll make sure, right, we're going to set up not to lose. And that's what Spurs have to do, just not lose and hope that they can win. But
we're relying on West Ham losing away. West Ham haven't been great away, even though they've been on this run. They haven't picked up many points away. Most of their points have come at home, and I kept telling people they're not losing to Everton because West Ham, since we played them, they've been so good at home. I think they've drawn 2-1.
So I think the biggest game then is Arsenal West Ham because it's West Ham at home. That's going to be
West Ham at home. Yeah,
West Ham at home.
Look, at this present moment, Arsenal are more likely to win the title because the Bournemouth and Crystal Palace games, City have got to fit in somewhere.
Yeah,
and it's just at this present moment they don't even know where they're going to fit in because of Palace in their Conference League run.
Because the rumours that our Chelsea game's getting moved to the 21st, isn't it? So that's the anniversary of Bilbao, which is
21st. What day is that? What day is the 21st?
When
should be
midweek.
Yeah, midweek. It had to be midweek. We'll cut final. Yeah,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh, happy birthday, man!
Thursday.
Man.
Could you imagine if that is the day, guys?
Sorry about that, man.
This is the thing. You know what I'm about to say.
That's what they've done before, yeah.
Exactly. So if that game's on the 21st of May, could you just know that I don't even want to speak it into existence because I'm big on affirmations. I don't even want you know what I'm saying, guys.
They'll put it on the 21st for a reason.
They want a story.
They want a story, yeah. They need to.
Yeah.
Unless you say 21, 2 + 1 is 3 points. I don't know. If we're gonna go if we're gonna do that, you know what I'm saying?
It's a lucky day, isn't it?
Oh man. No, but seriously, I feel like
the region is real, cuz.
It's real. No, but guys, if we are gonna stay up, we need to do something we've never done before. We need to I'm not saying we've never won at Villa, but based on the team's recent trajectory, it doesn't look like we would ever win at Villa, but we're gonna have to either beat Villa away or beat Chelsea away. We're gonna have to do something crazy. We're gonna have to. Obviously, beating Leeds and Everton at home, that's a must. So that's only 6 points. That gets us what? 40? I think 40 points still gets you relegated this year.
Whoever goes down will probably be the highest total to go down.
At least that's something.
What? What is the highest total?
Broken.
West Ham's the highest total. I can't remember what they got. They got 40. I think they got 40 that year.
But
you get 40.
Look at Bowen. He's got, and I haven't even spoken about our defensive issues because we are talking about getting goals, but we also leak goals as well. That's an issue. If we
42 points they got.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I thought so, yeah.
42, yeah. So defensively, we need to be a lot more resolute. We need to be a bit more stronger. I know, like the last game, we didn't concede any goals, but I just thought Armstrong was really poor up front. There was a couple chances. I thought, oh, a better striker. He puts it in the back of the net. Against Brighton, I thought we conceded quite a few chances. Mickey Van der Ven got away with one. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
that weird spin off the line, isn't it?
Yeah, that weird stuff line. So yeah, man, I just think defensively, obviously De Zerbi focuses more on attack. He doesn't really focus on the defense like that because he tries to defend with the ball, a bit like most possession sides. But in terms of actual defending, I wonder if there's been much being spoke about, with the team when we're trying to prepare against teams like Aston Villa. Are we going to focus on defending? Or are we going to focus on attacking? And then you look at the other teams in terms of attacking. I think Gibbs White, he's got 7 games or 5 consecutive games where we scored a goal. So like he's like one of their top scorers at the moment, or one of their top assisters. Wood's obviously come back. He's a natural goal scorer. They've been missing him all season. So Nottingham Forest have scored 16 goals, I think, in their last 5 to 6 matches. And that's the most informed team ahead of Arsenal, City. Do you know what I mean?
Bro. Forest players going to get injured next week, man. Don't worry about it. We've got this. No, carry on.
Yeah, you could be right. Murillo's already injured.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Murillo's already injured. They'll probably get a few more injuries. So Marlon's right on that one. West Ham, Bowen, he's got like 18 goal involvements. I think he's got 10 goals and 8 assists, something crazy like that. So
I can't wait till they sell Bowen because they're going down as soon as they get rid of him.
Yeah, definitely. I think Somerville looked a bit shaky. I thought like, he might have picked up an injury, but
I think apparently he did pick up a slight injury on the weekend.
Yeah, I see him down on the floor for a little while. So just there's little things that could bounce in our favor because at the moment we've had no luck. But yeah, I'm just looking at goals. Leeds, of course, they got goals in them. But yeah, we're just gonna have to find a way to score goals and outscore the opponent and not concede. It's not a tall ask, but I mean,
it's just like you said. It's like I know what you're saying, Ash, about conceding, but like every team, will get chances against them. It's how Spurs react, and that's a big issue. Like it's how the players react to it, and I think that's what Zerbi's getting into them. It's like, right, you will concede chances. If they don't go in, don't let your heads drop. Just keep going. With the three from attackers, he sees basically the team in a way picks itself now. Like he can't stop.
Let me hear it. Let me see. What's your team?
Oh, I think it's going to be Richarlison up front, Colin Mawani if he's fit. Because I looked up there and there was no, and even if he isn't, I think he might play Spence or someone like that, like you guys were saying. But yeah, the back four picks itself. Donzo, Van de Ven, Spence, or Sosa. Because I think Zerbi even said he might try Sosa as a right winger because he can cut in. So yeah,
minus Vicario, of course.
Yeah, and Basuma. I think Basuma, if he's injured, Polina comes in for Basuma instead.
You're missing a player, no?
Definitely missing a player. I'm definitely missing a player. Don't worry.
No left wing.
Who?
You need a left winger, yeah. Tell.
Yeah, if I can find him. But yeah.
He's got injured in your graphics.
Mawani's injured. He's going to have to
Mawani's injured.
Yeah, he's going to have to tell Richarlison up front and just go long.
It's Paulinho that comes in, bro. It's going to have to be these two up top and then Paulinho.
That ain't getting nothing, mate.
Basuma's out injured, so Basuma has to leave the pitch as well.
Yeah,
every time I'm putting the play up now, he's injured. No.
Basuma's out injured.
He can't come in. So yeah, I don't know. It's mad. I can't even field a starting 11 at the moment.
It's crazy.
So that will be, I think, up till Pellegrini and Bentancur because he always will have those two pivots. I think he might go for Bergville and Gallagher. Yeah. As like you were saying, as a number 10 or like to drift out wide if needed to provide the width.
Yeah.
So Paulinho, or Bergkamp, like a train, innit?
Didn't De Zerbi play like this in Marseille? Like two.
Two stands, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's played like this.
But then he defended in like a sort of like a free, so Spence would be all the way up, and then Porro would tuck in as like a free. That's the way he did.
Because Timothy Ware was playing right back when he weren't really a right back.
Or he could be forced to play a back three and use Spence and Porro as right wing backs.
And who's your back three?
It'll be Van de Ven, Donzo, and Roddy Dragusin, because he's got 3 defenders for it.
But if Dragusin gets injured, boy, stop.
Bro, when he got 4 games left,
he probably will get injured. He'll head the ball, land, and I think he might go for something like that and have Spence.
I'd be tempted to throw Van de Ven at left back.
Thing is, I don't think he's. Yeah, I think.
I said I'd be tempted. I didn't say it was a smart idea.
Yeah.
Then your 2 centre backs are really like just not it, you know.
Yeah.
That means that Doggy just don't get no love if Van de Ven goes.
That's when Doggy's injured.
He's still injured.
He's always injured.
Yeah. So
he played one game at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's only been injured. He's due to come back now.
No, he's got injured
for the
again.
5th or 6th time.
He's injured. the goes, yeah.
Even if he makes a starting 11, he'll be off after 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's all he does.
Yeah, stop.
Boy, yeah, that's. It's looking bleak, but in these situations, sometimes these things throw up the most random scenarios, and they kind of work.
Yeah, it's either going to be the case. Go on.
No, finish. Go on.
Yeah, I was ever going to say, like, the luck has either got to drastically change or it's done. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, we have to get some sort of good luck at one point. Like, whether that's on the pitch, off the pitch, whatever, something has to change. Like, it can't actually go on like this. Like, this is so weird.
I'm looking at Aston Villa's team, and I'm just like...
if they play their strongest 11, we're fucked.
Yeah, we've got to hope that they don't... That they play.
I don't think they will. I think because Aston Villa
weirdo. Will.
No, the thing is, Aston Villa play
Forest on the Thursday.
On the Thursday, that's away, and then they play Forest at home after Spurs. And I think Emery has a good chance, or should be thinking he's got a good chance of winning the Europa League and being in the Champions League this season.
Specialist as well, isn't it?
So.
But he's still. But the problem is they still have a chance to do it in the league as well. Like it's not beyond them. And that's the problem. Because at the present moment, they are in 5th, and it's likely that 5th is going to be a Champions League spot again. So, to be fair, it depends on what Brighton do. Because if Brighton don't win on the weekend, then maybe he'll think about resting players for the Thursday. But I think what the best result we could hope for on Thursday is a 1-1 draw. That both teams still think
need to still go for it.
Yeah. You can't have, if we have a 3 or 4-0 either way, we're screwed.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Morgan Rogers, Buendia, John McGinn, Watkins, Tillemans. They're all kind of fit. I was hoping they might have a few injuries here and there, but they've got quite a few players that are available. And even when we had our fit team, like we had Maddison, like in form, we had Salt, who was in form at the time. Who else scored against them? We had quite a few players. They were still a tough team to beat, you know what I'm saying? Even when we had like our full team. So it's going to be a tough one, man. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a tall one to Ox. Tall order, sorry. It's going to be a tall order, in my opinion.
It's gonna need something special. It's gonna need a tell screamer.
Yeah. Who do you think unlocks it? Who's going to be our guy for the next 4 games?
Tell. It has to be. He's the only one that I could see. He's the only one that cares enough, to be honest. I mean, I'll be honest. He's the only one that's got the right amount of drive, the right amount of determination. Of course, he lacks quality. The whole team does. But I just see him as the one that he wants it the most. The rest of them, they got their heads are in the sand. You know, they're all thinking, well, get relegated, I'm not here. Tell's, you know, he's fighting for the bad, man. So, yeah, I'm pinning my hopes on Matisse Tell, man.
What about everyone else, man? Jordan, who's your hopes on?
I'm Tell as well. Everyone's talking relegation Richie, relegation. There's a whole reason relegation Richie snapped his knees becoming relegation Richie. He saved Everton and he literally hasn't been able to control the ball ever since. Like, that's not that's not something that's gonna work for us. I think genuinely the hopes do lie on, for me, it's got to be the only sort of technical ability I see in that team at the moment comes from Bentancur, Pedro Porro. So I think it's got to be Tell, and I think I really do think there's a player in Tell. I know he hasn't showed it, but I also think he's one of them guys that in his heads, and you probably all played with guys similar, like they think they're a striker. Like Tell is not a number 9. He could really lock down that sort of like left wing inside forward role, and I think he could definitely be dangerous there. Like obviously if you've got Xavi playing that role, it's more like a creative role, but then if he's doing it, it's more like a actual goal scoring role. I think there's a position there for him. He just needs to look into it, and yeah, I'm with Calder. I think our only hope there is in Matisse Tell somehow.
To be fair though, you see with Xavi, everyone's like, "Oh my days, we lost Xavi." Like when De Zerbi first came, he didn't play him. But obviously, like we saw, maybe that was a mistake. But Tudor as well, he didn't start with him, and then Frank was leaving him out for a little bit. So it's not like we haven't played without Xavi for a period of time. Do you know what I'm saying? And try to get through things, but yeah, it's a mad one, isn't it? Oren, who's your kind of guy that you're thinking is gonna? Because you reckon we're staying up, so who's gonna be the guy? Who's gonna be the standout?
It can't be one person. It has to be the whole team.
I know, but obviously this is the
That's not
hypothetical.
Conor Gallagher. I don't know, because I know what you guys are saying about Tell, but
We need
Tell's
goals. We need goals. We need creativity.
I know.
so
But the thing is
figure out
about
where that's
Tell,
coming.
I've said
I'm not
this.
agree with you, by the way. I actually agree with you. I think it, like, to sum it up, it has to be a Robert De Zerbi. It has to come from everyone and everywhere.
Yeah, but like I get the Tell thing, but when I watch Tell, I've said this before. He's a very selfish player, and not in a good way. He will everything he does. It's about me. So he has a chance to cross the ball, he'll take a shot. If the Zerbi can, and I think maybe like he had a bust up with Frank because he thinks he's a number 9. And maybe De Zerbi goes, you know what? I'm just going to play at number 9. Make runs in behind, get the ball, dribble at the defender.
I'm put Richarlison where though? If he
put him on the left. Just put him on the left.
What happened when he plays on the left?
I know, but it's kind of like, right, I have a young player who thinks that he's the King Dick, and I've got an experienced player who's happy to just play. Richie, you just play on the right or the left. Till, you're an egotistical maniac, but I'm just going to play as a number 9 because, like, what has Till done on either wings to make you think that he's going to be, apart from running and doing, I mean, they're only looking at that because no other player's doing that. But even at that, it's like kind of, it's his body language as well. Till just looks like a player like, I'm too good for this. Why I'm on the left? Why I'm on the right? I want to be in the middle. So maybe De Zerbi goes, I mean, I think he scored 1 goal in the Premiership, did come from him playing down the centre. And I think maybe Zerbi looks at him and thinking, right.
He scored 2, one against Leeds and one against Bournemouth. Yeah, he was on the left against Bournemouth.
And the Leeds one was...
He was playing up front, he was playing up top.
Yeah, Bournemouth, that was a decent goal, actually.
So it could be that way. And then if he does decide to play 2 number 10s, press him. Because the thing is Till will do as well is press. I know Richarlison press, but he can't, he's just light. So yeah, it could be that way. So I think the whole team have to do it, but it's weird to look at what player is going to shine.
So do you still believe? I'm saying, do you really believe? You can't even give me an answer. Really, it's going to be the guy.
Well, even if Spurs were 3 points off the top, I'd still be saying it needs to be the whole team. The team wins games, not just one player. And that's the thing. It's like, that's what I believe that's what De Zerbi's trying to do. He's trying to get that team playing as a team for each other. That's why he hasn't started Till, because Till is not a team player. He just isn't that sort of player. And even Richarlison is not really a team player, as in he can't bring people into the game because Richarlison just wants
2 players that aren't team players,
that they have to
You need
play.
to win a
which is-
game.
It's like Till and Richarlison are the very, 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 very poor players off Colin Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. They can't play on each other. At least both of those players, they score goals, do something magical. These two can't. They don't like even defending. Like I think, and the thing is with Richarlison, even if he decides to play Sosa as left back and do the Spence thing, then he might look at Richarlison and Sosa being both Brazilians, being able to communicate with each other and helping each other out. But it depends, because if Colin Mwani's injured, then actually, even if he's injured, it's not even a big loss because he hasn't done anything. So I think if I had to be pushed at, I think Till is the guy because he's doing a lot of running and maybe he will get something out of it. But yeah.
Marlon, what are you saying, man? The hypothetical.
Mate, the only guy I'm relying on is Mads Hermansen from West Ham, because there's no way these players are doing it for us.
You say Arsenal gonna have to do us a favor, yeah?
We'll never live it down, bro. We kept you in the Premier League. See, it's all down to us. You can see it already.
I'll take that.
Imagine if Arsenal lose. My word, would they be like, "Oh, you've lost on purpose"?
Yeah, but they always say that we lost on purpose against Man City.
I know.
Come on.
That's where it comes from. I don't like it. No, I think Arsenal aren't going to play those games. I think Arsenal will want to win.
Yeah, Arsenal will win their games. But
They'll still win the league, but they'll win, which makes it even worse. But they'll win those games.
They'll drop points somewhere. I'm just not sure where, but they'll definitely drop points. I don't think they'll go unbeaten.
No,
That's the thing.
They could go unbeaten. So yeah, they could, but I don't think they'll win all their games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah, that way. I think they'll drop points. Is what I mean.
They'll get a draw. They'll get a draw. I think the Champions League game is big for Arsenal.
Hey, listen. I think. Look, I don't know. Paulinho obviously came up with a goal, so that was an unlikely source. But something about him. He's got fight. I hate those type of words, innit? Oh, he's got fight.
The thing is about Paulinho, he's got fight, but he's also got quality to go with it. Where Tell's got fight, but no quality.
Exactly.
No. But Paulinho, it's a weird one. Off the ball, we know he's a monster, innit? And that's what you have for your number 6.
But
and
on the
set pieces, sorry, Jordan, what did you say?
I just said, but on the ball.
Yeah, this is what I'm getting at. On the ball, it's a different game. Off set pieces, he's a danger. Same with Bentancur. He's a beast in the air. Like when it comes to set pieces, he gets up, he hit the post, obviously, against Wolves in that game at the Molineux. So set pieces, you got your players like Bentancur and Paulinho, they're dangerous. But Paulinho, I can't see him getting on the ball 30 yards out and scoring 2 or 3 screamers between now and the end of the season to be the difference.
The Premier League brings up some surprise. Would you not be surprised if he did?
I mean, he's done it before in his career, Mark.
He scored a red kick. Paulinho's
goal against Wolves.
There's our saviour. We're getting relegated. I'm just letting you guys know now. This Paulinho, we're trying to rest all of our hopes on.
You mentioned him. None of us.
Yeah, you're the one who mentioned him. You're the one he's talking about.
Yeah, but
Paulinho's actually scored. That's the thing.
I don't really know who's the guy. Then that's what I'm trying to say. I just.
But Paulinho scored. Till hasn't. So that's the thing. It's like you're resting hopes on a guy who's actually scored 5 goals and pulled Spurs out against a player who scored 2, and just
he's like our 3rd or 4th top scorer, Paulinho, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That tells you where we're at. Bro, that just tells you where the squad's at. A DM is one of your top scorers,
and he doesn't
on loan DM as well.
A loan DM at that, yeah. Big up Paulinho, by the way. Big up.
Yeah, he fights for the badge. That's the thing.
Without Paulinho, we would have, lost and drawn to Wolves this year. Obviously we would have lost the first game. He saved us last minute. What's that? 2 extra.
It's true. It's true.
But
I'm just letting you know, I don't see that as the next 4 games. I don't see that as a viable
escape route
where he's going to be our main goal threat. Like,
Wait,
number
there's
6.
against Villa, Spurs is a late kickoff. They started kickoff at 7. Don't they?
7:00.
Yeah.
So West Ham play before them, or is West Ham playing the Sunday?
I think they play
Plays 3:00 Saturday, is it?
Saturday, Brentford away.
Yeah,
So basically, West Ham could be 4
Hey,
5
to be fair though, Brentford, I don't know if you know what United, but Brentford should have tucked them away. I think.
Really?
Brentford.
Yeah. Brentford had chances. Yeah,
They had
that's why I was late.
See, he says he's sorry he's late. He wasn't sorry. He wasn't sorry.
No,
He knew what he was doing.
To be fair, Manchester United, I know everyone will look at it, Man United won, but Brentford had some chances. So,
Trust me. Not Tudor. Igor.
Brentford still have something to play for as well, don't they? They can still get.
Yeah, but they were
Still
so
get Europe.
The problem is that Brentford was so poor. Who did they play last week? Was it Palace?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was the 0-0 draw. Fulham. When they played Fulham. They were so terrible. So it's just what Brentford's going to turn up.
It's at home for Brentford, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently, Brentford won 1 in 10 after tonight.
Yeah. That's
So
the problem.
So they'll just sit back.
They've not been in
Just
great
sit back.
form. So.
West Ham will just sit back, defend, try and nick a goal.
Yeah.
They'll play for a draw. West Ham will just play for a draw, stink it out.
Yeah, but now Brentford are one of those teams. They're Jekyll and Hyde, didn't they? 1 minute they'll be like absolutely be like, really, that's Brentford, and the next minute they'll stink the place out.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah. So that's my answer, guys. I know you don't like it. I don't have a player like Marlon, man. I really don't, and that's why I'm like concerned. Is not even the right word. You can fake it till you make it, guys. You can fake it till you make it, and so let me just do that. Man. But any other final thoughts, Marlon? I don't know.
But the last question will be: are we going down now? Like, we know where we are now. Are we going down? Like we've spoke a lot tonight, but after tonight, is there any hope that we can actually stay up? Like, realistically,
there's always hope, but is that hope faint? How faint is, like, that's the question. There's always hope. Like, whilst there's still a mathematical possibility, there's always hope, Marlon. But do I believe we will, hand on heart? If someone had a gun to my head and they say, whatever your prediction is now determines the fate of your life come the end of the season, which I don't know, May the 24th, I'm not quite sure. I'm not a betting man, but yeah, based on current form and how we're playing and how the other teams are picking up points, I do feel we are going down. Everything is just gone against us in a way which just tells me this is our time. It's just written. And I was this confident isn't the right word. I was this sure that we would be in this position from when Frank was still in. We're sleepwalking our way into the championship, and we have been, like you said earlier there, Marlon, that January transfer window will come back to absolutely haunt this club. To sell Johnson on the first day, to have Kudus injured a few days after, and to not buy another forward, criminal. That is what's got us in this position. I'm sorry. So I do feel like I hope I'm wrong. But I can't see it, guys. And I feel like us being down here and being in the position that we're in, and everyone just knowing that it looks like, wow, Spurs are going to get relegated. I feel like we've given the likes of Forest and West Ham like a boost. I feel like if we weren't down there, those two teams would not be picking up the points that they are. I feel like they're like, fucking hell, guys. Tottenham are going to be, the team to actually go down there, not us. They ain't won a game all year. So it's just giving them an extra boost. So everything's just gone against us. So hand on heart, I feel like we will, but obviously I hope I'm wrong.
Jordan?
I think, yeah, man, as cliche as it sounds, I really do think there's some things in football that are just written. I think going back way further than January, I think sleepwalking is a great term for it. This club's been on a steady decline since that Burnley loss under Poch in 2019, if I'm being honest. It's just a series of wrong decision after wrong decision, mismanagement, neglect from upstairs, everything. And it always feels like we're almost moaning a little bit too much about the higher ups because, there's people always say, there's clubs that have gone into administration, but an actual organisation and establishment of our size and stature to be in this situation is unheard of. Like, it really only rivaled by Leicester winning the league, right? It's a crazy situation to be in, but it really is only ourselves to blame. As I say, we got very, very lucky under Poch, working magic with no budget. Then you look at 3 transfer windows at no buy-in. It's never been run like a football club. So it really does feel like this was sort of coming. And like, Harry Kane papered over the cracks, and then the first 10 games under Ange papered over them cracks, and the Europa League. But there was always this underlying tone of something seriously wrong here. And it feels like this season, when everything's added in with the injuries and the bad transfer windows and everyone else around us being pretty decent as well, it just seems like if there's ever a time to go down, it's written for it to be now. And it's not even just a case of we're so bad we're going down. I just don't see the positive flip of, are we good enough to stay up? Like, I don't see, like what we said tonight, boys, I don't see where the goals come from. I don't see where the points come from. So same thing, if I had to put all my money on it, truthfully, I think we're gone. I really do think we're gone.
And we'll end on that somber note.
I want to hear Oren's positivity.
I saw Oren.
Please, no. We need to have a balance. Okay, I need to go to bed with a hopeful prayer. I need something.
Please smash the like button, guys.
Do you know what? After listening to Oren tonight, I tell you now, he does not believe we're staying up.
No, you don't believe it. You don't believe it.
The last couple of weeks, he's been confident, saying it with chest, and tonight, it's kind of sunken in his head. He's like,
sounding mousy.
Yeah.
As a football fan, no, I don't think Spurs will stay up. I think the confirmation was having.
Hold on. We don't want the football fan. We want Oren.
Well, there's two. There's two. I have to say, football fan. It doesn't look like anything is going for Spurs, and I've always said that. I've said like it would. Fuck it, no. I think Spurs will stay up. I'm trying to play. I'm trying to be realistic, but I just think Spurs will stay up. Like I said, I think it will come down to the last game, and Spurs will stay up by the skin of their teeth. And I've said it before. Like, I'm not going to be kind of sad or angry if Spurs don't stay up, because all this combination is about. Whether Spurs stay up or don't stay up, ENIC has to do something. And that's, let's be honest, that's what has been kind of like forgotten about in the last couple of months, or these months, and rightfully so. But this is all based on the bad investments that ENIC has made and non-investing in January. And basically, like, for the first time in their history, the club that they were stood proud behind and say, we've got Champions League, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing that, they're getting relegated. So now they have to either restructure the whole club. And there's no doubt that if ENIC, yes, they're business and we can slate them as business, but what we have to understand is for business people, they have made plans for this. I think in the last 4 months, ENIC have made plans. It's not because they don't operate off, we're going to stay up. They don't do like that. They're going to go, what if we do get relegated? So this is the plan's already been made. So make sure that Zerbi said like he's going to stay for one season and stuff, even if he doesn't. But that's what I'm trying to say. ENIC might go right because, like Marlon, like you said, you like play the managers. So even if they keep him, build a foundation for next season, and because the same thing could happen. Tottenham could stay up, and then Zerbi loses his head, and he gets sacked in 6 months anyway. So we're right back to the bottom. So personally, yeah, I think Spurs will stay up by the skin of their teeth. And if they stay up, ENIC has to just invest into this club. They're going to have to do it anyway, either or. It doesn't matter. But I think Spurs will stay up by like 1 point. 1 point. West Ham is going to lose against Arsenal. Spurs are going to get something out of the Chelsea game and stuff like that. So, yeah, I tried. I'm sorry. I did try to flip in, go with the whole they won't. But no. Yeah, I'm quietly confident that Spurs will stay up. They will. I think I was young. I'm young enough to remember when this was a predicament for Spurs, when they're almost, and they did stay up. I think it was like by 1 point or something. I can't remember what year it was, but I was very young. But I remember, I think Spurs just by the skin of their teeth will stay up.
95, 96 Aussie, I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was that
that's-
season.
that
I
was
was there. I
Spurs.
remember it. Older.
Yeah, just
Two games was
about.
there. Yeah.
So I think Spurs will do the same thing.
Might be 94, 95. I can't remember which year.
Yeah. So it has happened before. But this is what Spurs need. The fans need us, because it's now time for Enoch to act, and they have to. There is no, oh, we have to do this, we have to do that. They have to act.
Well,
They have to.
well, you say that according to sources. I don't know if you want to believe these sources, if they're reputable, but we have had conversations with Senesi from Bournemouth, and also Robertson from Liverpool. He scored a goal on the weekend as well. So that could be your theory, right? You know, Enoch are trying to.
No, they don't. No, I'm not talking about Robertson. He's flipping. No, I'm talking about because it's about selling as well. So I think if Spurs stay up, Destiny Udogie has to be stole. He's not good. He just gets injured all the time. Vicario wants to leave. I think Mickey van de Ven might get still stole. Romero will stay. And then they just look at the funds and add 500 million to it and go, right, okay, thanks. We're gonna get top players. They can't do moniker players anymore. The fans will not allow that.
Yeah, but they will.
I think they will. That's the issue.
That's the issue.
If they do it, then that's
You said something earlier, and I know from talking to people that have worked at the club and said they'll be planning for both. Mate, they did not plan for the championship. Wouldn't even talk about it up until recently. They're not even. So when Ashes mentions was it Robertson and the guy from Bournemouth? They're planning. Yeah, they're planning to be in the Premier League. They've totally ignored the fact that they could be in the Championship, and it's going to rip up everything. And I don't think, and that's why I'm worried if we do get relegated that they're not going to be ready for it.
They're not.
So
that's my biggest one. They haven't planned for it.
What it is, I know offense, Oren, but a lot of fans put the club up on a pedestal. They think the people in charge, for some weird reason, they think that they are of a higher intellect and they know the runnings of football and they can foresee. They're not that smart. They're not that clever. The football people around them, where are they? Do you understand? Langer is the one that we're leaning on, or Vinay is the one that we're leaning on. And we saw them in the stands, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They ain't got a clue, man. Like, anyone can jump in as well. Listen, you lot can say what you think, but I just think the club.
The day we let Vinay in, I'll never forgive the club for.
Crazy.
I never understood it.
Arsenal fans were celebrating that
Yeah,
we took him.
the day he left.
They were celebrating that he left.
Just like when Langer left Aston Villa. Bro, it's a combination. Like milk and oil.
Yeah, I'll always maintain this though. I think they're just two faces. They have to get permission from.
So the faces behind them would be who then? Colacott,
Vivian Lewis, all that.
Or are they
it's all Joe,
Nick
Butcher.
Nick Butcher, like
it doesn't matter who it is. It's all of them.
That's what I'm saying. It's all of them. It's like the board.
Yeah, but
when I watched Levy do his last interview with Gary Neville, those are the four people he mentioned when they were interviewing Frank. It was Vinay Langer, and he said Nick Butcher, he said Matthew Colacott, he said Charrington, and he said Vivian Lewis. He said those are the people that were making, it was like all of us. He said it was all of us. It wasn't just me. It was all of us making that decision to bring in the manager, to bring in Thomas Frank. So those are the people that we're putting on, not we, but I'm saying fans are putting on a high pedestal to say that the club know what they're doing. They're going to be the ones to sort out footballing decisions. And I'm not just too sure. I'm a bit skeptical. I'll be real.
Well, the only case is they have to sell it.
That's my delusion. I think that if they are to stay up, they would try to sell it. And
As
I
quick
think
as
when Daniel was
possible,
in charge, huh?
As quick, they'll try and sell it as quick as possible if they stay up.
Yeah,
because they
exactly.
can't do with it.
I think Daniel was removed because he wanted
He tried
to
to sell
stay
it.
on. He wanted to stay on. Like, so if there was a new buyout, he would still be chairman. If that makes sense. So they would sell.
That was rumours for months. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, Jordan, you're gonna say something, bro.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with what we're saying. But I guess you was talking about the upper football division. We're still in a stadium without a naming right. Like it's still called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Like there's not been a good decision made by the higher ups.
I read about that. It actually Tottenham Hotspur actually make more money from having the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium than if they were to. Apparently, because everything's money based. You're absolutely right. They don't make decisions unless it's cut around on money. So I think the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because if it was named like another stadium, then it would be
Heineken
Stadium, like Heineken Stadium or something. Then it wouldn't be as notified. But when you think of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because what we have to understand is that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, yes, as football fans we know it's football, but outside football, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is a Beyonce sporting event. It's an NFL game.
Yeah, brand exposure, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brand. So people want to sponsor the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as in the other things, when it comes to, because it's always going to be mentioned on TV, and that's the big thing about it. I heard the same thing. That's why I never really got fussed about the naming rights of the stadium in the end. But
the NFL and
exposure to, if you know the logo as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Binding together it's a whole marketing ploy.
Yeah,
apparently so. But they also wanted too much money for the stadium rights anyway, as well.
Yeah, they want lots of money.
They were never going to get. They were never going to get what they were asking for.
See, because like without other than football, you see, Enoch, and I'd go off topic, and maybe we can cover this like in another stream. But Enoch's whole idea was to make, like what I read in an article, Enoch's whole idea was to make Tottenham Hotspur almost like a Wembley, where you had lots of different events. Like when you think of Wembley, you think of iconic. It's like the Madison Square Garden in America. So what they wanted to do was make Tottenham Hotspur not just a club, but the area, with the hotels, the go-kart and everything. They want to make Tottenham Hotspur a corporation that's kind of a tourist attraction as well, which they kind of have done.
They've done.
Yeah, and that's why Daniel Levy was no longer needed, because that was why he was brought in. He interfered with footballing to try and, because he was a football fan of Spurs. I know people laugh at that, but I think Enoch just went, no, we don't give a damn. Your job is to keep Spurs, the football, up there, but build everything around it. The top facility, because when you hear about Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, like I have friends who don't even watch football, but they've gone there to watch rugby, and it's an amazing stadium. They get all the drinks and everything else. The NFL games, every NFL people from America. Then if you have the NFL games, I think they still keep the NFL games if they get the championship. I think that's a deal they signed. I'm not so sure. They'll still keep that. So the hotels
as well.
Stadium concerts as well. Yeah. So
they'll continue to finish off the hotel, and then they're going to remortgage the hotel that they've building, which costs 400 mil. That 400 million they're going to remortgage and use that to build flats. So they want to build flats behind the actual hotels.
Yeah.
As well as they wanted some golfing suites as well on top of the hotel. So he's right. Even the actual walkway, they were looking to build another station so you wouldn't have to do that long walk. And they were looking to do in Southwest and West London, there's something called Westfields. So they were trying to make an equivalent of Westfields down where Tottenham is, with cinemas and stuff like that. A complete,
like Wembley has with the
Wembley,
designer outlet.
Exactly that. Do you know what I mean?
So they wanted to create another Wembley.
Gentrification, basically.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Spurs is the only Premiership club that actually has NFL games. Has Old Trafford? Old Trafford hasn't. So Spurs are the only.
It's only Wembley and
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and rugby league games. Like my brother was at the rugby league game, and he's like, the stadium's great. It's awesome.
The idea was that you're meant to do the football side of it first, and then do. So it's we've done it the wrong way round, and as a result of it, championship.
That was a thing. That was. See, the thing is that Enoch came out from the moment they bought Spurs, and that was their goal. There was nothing ever else planned. It was when they bought Poch in and stuff like that. That kind of worked, but they were always going to get a bigger stadium. They were always going to do what they're doing now. There was never ever going to be. I think the investment into the club was like the feel good factor to keep the silence of football fans. But as soon as like 150 million fans were like, oh, this is a start, and then that disappeared. But it was just to keep the fans quiet, football fans quiet.
It was
because
big money they were after, though.
Yeah,
that's what they needed to do all this.
Yeah, to build it,
and that's why they invested so much at the beginning, because they needed to get into Europe and have that European pedigree football every season to get the investment back in. And once they made Champions League, things just excelled.
Yeah, so that's what. So technically, ENIC has accomplished what they set out.
Yeah, they've accomplished it.
Yeah, they have.
Even if you don't really get it.
Yeah. And so either
they deserve, the board deserve to be relegated. Let's get it right.
They do. The board, yeah.
They deserve this. We do not.
No, that's the thing. They don't look at it.
We kind of do.
No, the fans.
Let's do the reverse stream. What time was it?
We do not deserve.
Why do we not deserve it though? Because we've sat on our hands. Yeah, but we've sat on our hands for the last 5 years and allowed this to happen.
I agree with that.
But that's it. Because once we've allowed this to happen, because a lot of us called this out, like Jordan said, once that Poch Burnley game happened, there's been a catalogue of bad errors, and a lot of us, okay, and I'm included, I do include myself on this, just watched it burn, and the best we got for a protest, just to for now, was 3,000. 3,000 was the best we got, and that was one. So, okay, if any other, like when you see other clubs do things, like Strasbourg and Chelsea coming together, just shows you like what can seriously happen. I'm not saying it makes an impact, but we've allowed certain aspects to happen over the last 5 years, and all we ever get told is, oh, I just want to go to the game and I want to spend time with my friends. We're going to get to do that in the Championship. So actually, in some kind of roundabout way, because we've sat and watched this burn, we kind of deserve it too. We're in it. We're unfortunately, we're in it as well. And a lot of fans won't agree with it, but we've got to look at ourselves in the mirror and goes, what have we done?
Get behind the team.
But that's all we hear, get behind the team. And
no, I fully hear you.
Yeah.
I fully hear you. Like, even to the point where you say, like, let's say this was, I don't know, Inter Milan in our position, or what's a similar sized club in Italy to us? Roma, someone like that. You think if Roma were gonna get relegated, that their fans wouldn't be turning up at the ground on smoke? But we just, as a fan base, we just ain't got it in us to do that.
And that's the thing, we haven't got it in us, and this is why I look at it and go. And I had to take, like a few months back when people were coming out of the line, I was like, yeah, and then I started to look at myself in the mirror and go, what the hell have I done to even do anything about it? Maybe I do deserve this.
I feel bad for the international fans. That's what I feel bad for. International fans would have done a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Who was it? Who was it the other day? I can't remember. Someone was saying that they don't get no Championship football in their country. So there's no way they're going to be able to watch Tottenham for a year.
Lucky them, man. Lucky them.
And I thought, but that's the impact it's going to have, like, because there's certain countries that don't show.
Yeah, because I'm sure not all of our games will be televised. I know quite a few will be on Sky Sports.
You can do that iFollow thing on Championship as well.
Yeah.
So it's like
Spurs will find a way.
Yeah, we'll be on Sky. 95% of the games will be on Sky, because on the Sky, is it Sky Plus, Sky Sports Plus, what they've got.
No, that's not
that.
Yeah. So, and as long as the game's not at 3:00, it will be on TV.
Yeah.
I just want to, Marlon, just what you said there about kind of like, have we sat on our hands and watched this? Do you think an element, this is kind of by design, by ENIC, in the sense of like, I think for me, growing up, like just getting into football, it was very much like, we're plucky little Tottenham, maybe we might challenge top four. Oh, wow, we get Van der Vaart, this is great. Yeah. And then to the sense of like, I think even subconsciously it got to like, wow, like this is our stadium, we don't deserve this. Almost like we've made to be felt like.
Yes.
I don't know how to put it into words.
No. And I agree with what I completely agree with you saying. A lot of us feel like we should be thankful we've got this.
We should be thankful for. I've seen so many older people on Twitter saying, like, way before my generation, saying like, oh, you don't know how bad it was. We're playing European football. We got this stadium. So I feel like it's kind of seeps into like certain political stuff, and that's for a whole new thing. But like, I feel like if you can convince a group of people enough that they don't deserve more, then that's fine.
They'll
And that
settle.
was fine up until the numbers started getting a little bit more public, and then people started going like, "Yo, hold on, like we're contributing all this. We're paying the highest ticket prices in Europe for this, and we're made to feel like we should be grateful for that."
But this comes back to, and if you think about the older generation, they're the ones who sit us and say, "Oh, you should be thankful."
Yeah,
They're the ones who were protesting against what's his name, Alan Sugar, and all that going on. That Alan Sugar ended up selling the club. They were literally hunting out the man's house, so they did something.
Yeah, the thing is, you're absolutely right about the protesting. The thing is, in today's modern world,
yes, and I know it's going to be it's a society.
Yeah, it's
but
it's
still I think it's funny, but we say that, and then you see like Liverpool when they had the whole season ticket thing, and they all walked out. Spurs fans
Man United stormed the pitch. Man United fans stormed the pitch.
Yeah,
and I guarantee you, if we stay up, the fans are going to storm the pitch. Like they're going to start.
The thing is, it's like when it comes to like a lot of, I think the whole thing, because we were talking about like or dragging the stream on, but I actually believed that it was before the Burnley game with Poch. I think as soon as Spurs became a commercial, doing the Amazon documentaries, the players were now, that rise when they almost won the league. Spurs were always on television, constantly, the players. And I slowly start seeing the drop off because they can't do both. They became kind of little mini celebrities. If you look at the players, like other than like Kane, who kept level headed, all those players just got, players came to Spurs because it was a club being talked about, almost won the Champions League final, and it made it okay. And I think that a lot of fans as well, and that's why I'm so happy that Poch isn't back. Because I think Poch was just going to be a dangle of the carrot, like you were saying, Jordan. It's like, look, we brought Poch back. Never mind what the fuck ups we've done. We brought him back, the Messiah. We didn't back him. And I think that's the case of, yes, Daniel Levy and Enoch would have said, look, what as far as Spurs came, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, yes, you guys have came this high, but look how far you've dropped quicker. You've dropped quicker than it took you to get this high. So, yeah, it's kind of like to be at the very bottom. There's only one way up, which is hopefully up. Hopefully up. But I think
Leicester drop into the league.
I know that's mad. Like, but still, I don't. And even Leeds has dropped being further, but I don't think we'll get that far. And I think, as I said, I think Spurs will stay up. But I think fans are at their last breath now, and the only way I think today to properly protest is not by holding banners up. It's not by holding that. You can do that all you want, but there's always going to be foreign fans who are going to be coming for next season. And this
not at the moment.
Well, I'm saying like next season, if Spurs, even if they get in the Champions League, but say they don't, the only way fans can protest is by not going to the stadium. That's it. That's the again. You can protest, hold banners up and all, but Enoch will just go, oh, okay, we'll do this, 200 million. Get Vin Ireland to make some really chat DP speech about how we're going to improve the club, how we're going to basically like what they did last year. We want to win on all fronts. Didn't follow through. So the best way to protest, the best way to hurt a business is by not going and attending that business, and that's the best way. Like you can protest all you want, and I get you can have 10,000 protests, but it'll get violence. The police then comes, people get arrested, and it's like.
But even then, but you say that, but even the last protest that Spurs that they did, it was a peaceful protest because they did it's peaceful. But I do get what you're saying. But, but even then, even the walking out or not going to games, Spurs fans don't want to do it. We don't know. It's we're in a catch. It doesn't matter which way you want to put it because even when I think Change for Tottenham tried to do something in the stadium,
Man City it was.
Yeah, nobody wanted to do it. Yeah. And that was just to sit in after the game because
we scored in it. We scored and they were like,
everyone was meant to leave or something, and they just
that was bad timing. Don't they?
They didn't score, and we lost that game. We were sat in, and then and Arsenal wouldn't be top of the league. It'd be Man City.
Yeah.
Sorry. I meant to say that.
And,
but yeah,
well, just get Frank back because Frank was actually the manager. No, who was the manager when the players started walking out? Was it Tudor?
That was Frank.
Was it Frank?
Yeah.
What was the game where Spurs all the fans start walking out? I can't remember.
Oh, Tudor, that one.
Was that
Palace?
It was against Palace, was it? Yeah, just
Tudor. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
penalty and sending off. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. No, I get it though, but that made more of an impact, I think, than protesting, because you actually see fans just
Yeah,
giving
but
up.
the problem you've got is in that situation is that it's all based off results, and sometimes you can't base it off because they're going to look and go, we're losing. That's the reason why they're protesting or they're working out. If it happened when we're winning 1 or 2-0, it's going to be volumes.
I think the only way it will happen now is if we get relegated and we don't perform in the championship.
Which, well, with all these injuries, we are going to now. They're going to be lucky and be able to keep these players of quality. Can't get rid of them.
Just get it more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not able to see that Xavi. No, Xavi's not a good example. I don't know how serious Kudus' injury is, for example. And if we somehow manage to make the World Cup, then we would sell him for maybe a cut price, not the price that we wanted. So some players might be able to force a move of 20, 30 million rather than the 50 million that we paid for.
Again, it does depend on how long he's injured for. If whoever goes to the World Cup, they obviously can be sold. If anyone else, if they don't appear at that World Cup, it's going to be curtains. A lot of them are going to have to stick with us in the Championship.
Yeah.
See, the thing is about someone like Kudus, who the hell wants him? Because when Spurs bought Kudus, like
he'll get because of actually just because of how well he's done in a Spurs shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Aston Villa, Spurs get a win.
Super chat quick before we end.
Yeah, go on if you do want to answer
it. Super chat from Christian _
Triple eight.
Mm-hmm.
Like
if we lost the final, would have been a situation.
Basically, we would have done Man United.
If we had lost the final, would we be in a situation, or would Enoch have been forced to act?
No, it'd be in the same situation.
I tell you, do you know what? I tell you why it would have been in the same situation. Because the way Daniel Levy, Ange said about Daniel Levy on the morning, how relaxed they were. So they weren't expected to win it. They would have just been business as usual.
Exactly.
BAU.
Personally, I don't think Spurs would have been, no. Because the Champions League, Andy would have still been sacked, but have been 1 game a week with Frank. So he would have had time to work with the players and not have, because the biggest issue with Frank, he'd never done Champions League and never have 2 games in a week. And then obviously we've seen that the squad doesn't have the depth. So I'm not saying that Spurs would have been flying. I'm saying Spurs wouldn't be in a situation.
What was his record in the Champions League?
That's what I mean. He was doing quite well in the Champions League.
Yeah, yes, but the thing is that it suffered in the Premiership. Yes, Spurs were doing it in the Champions League, but they didn't have the 2 teams for whatever reason. And like, if you look at the backlash as well, the backlash was because injuries picked up and things like that. And Frank was never the guy. I think Frank was brought in to have a stopgap to calm everything down from Angie. And I think they thought that he could do it. But I personally think that Frank, if he had 1 game a week, and I think in reverse, I mean, if you look at United have had to sack the manager, got a new one in on where they're sitting because they had 1 game a week. So even if Frank didn't work out, they would have still been able to bring a manager in who can work with them 1 game a week. So I don't think Spurs would have been in a position. I'm not saying as a Spurs, I'm not grateful that they won the Europa League, but I've always thought that whoever win that would struggle the next season because they weren't meant to be in it. The squad was never big enough, and they certainly didn't buy enough players during the summer window to add to the squad, with injuries and stuff. Yeah,
I think Tottenham's going to act any different to what they've acted like before. Like, I know a lot of people talk about this January, but last January they acted exactly the same as they did this January.
Exactly.
And that this year they were in the Europa League. So they were playing 2 games a week. But with Frank, if they hadn't won any of that, if they hadn't won the Europa League, Spurs would have been playing 1 game a week.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that necessarily that the players we brought in, because it would have been different players we'd have had to bring in anyway.
Exactly.
So it would have been less quality.
Yes.
Well, who are the players that Spurs actually brought in?
So Paulinho, Kudus.
Every would have come in.
Colomoni.
Yeah, so Colomoni hasn't worked out.
He wouldn't have come either. He wouldn't have come.
Yeah, so basically,
the whole transfer window would be so
I think they would have still got Kudus.
It would have been totally different.
Yeah. They would have still got Kudus.
Possibly.
Yeah, and Joe Paulinho, it's like you're not talking about these. Like Kudus wasn't bought from a top 14. He was bought from West Ham, who Spurs finished above.
Yeah, but I think Champions
Just about.
Yeah, but when we weren't the only club going in for Kudos at the time, if I remember correctly.
Chelsea
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, so I think he would have picked the Champions League over us at the time. I think he just realised for him, he picked us over Chelsea was because he's more likely to play for us than he was at Chelsea.
Yeah.
We'll be on the bench.
100%. Listen, the fact that we finished 17th tells you, like I said, like I started with this, the players are not good enough. You know, winning a trophy or no trophy, we would have still been here. Guaranteed, these players are not good enough. So, yeah, I'm convinced this has been happening. Like, this isn't an overnight thing. This is years of decay. And the last few summer transfer windows have been truly abysmal. The summer where we got Odegaard and who's it? Bergvall.
Archie Gray.
Archie Gray.
It was only Solanke was the only first team player.
Yeah, come on. That's what's got us here. I know we won the Europa League last year, but come on, you seen the state of the Europa League this year. You see, Villa's definitely gonna win it. Who's in the other semi-final? Freiburg and Braga. Like, Europa League isn't a great.
To be fair, Nottingham Forest did knock out the best team that was probably going to cause anything, and they played really well against
Porto.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I think the European competitions have benefited the English clubs the way they're played now.
Absolutely.
Because if you notice that even in the conference, Palace are doing.
He's back.
That's me, yeah. I just think the way it's all been formatted now, I think it's just made it easier for the Premier League clubs to perform in it compared to other seasons where you had to fit in these 8 games and whatnot, and then go to the quarter. And I think that's the reason why we're starting to see. So we're the strongest league. Like, no matter what anyone wants to say, we are the strongest league, and that I think I think when people go that Manchester United and Spurs got to it last year, it's more of a case of the other leagues need to look at themselves to why we got in it. And if you think about last year's Champions League, if it wasn't for Paris Saint-Germain, all the English teams were on that Paris Saint-Germain knocked out all the English teams last year. So, and then Milan then got smashed in the final. So it is what it is.
Over one in the end.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
Yeah. I'll say that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Big up, people. Thank you for coming on, Carl and Jordan. Carl, if you want to let people know where they can find you in messier times.
Well, to be honest, you'll find me on here when I get invited back on, you know what I'm saying? I'm about, man. I'm about. I just, I love Spurs. I'm just dreading this end of the season, guys. I just hope that, we stay up, and yeah, I'm praying, man. We'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully you'll see me again. Hopefully we're in the Premier League when I'm next one. So,
Big up, Carl. George, let people know where they can find you, bro. If you can hear us. I think he's
yeah, can't hear anything.
Can't hear nothing. But look, George's got his name in his title, so you can go find him on X. Orin,
just here. Always here, yeah. Always
Ash,
here.
Got anything coming up?
Yeah, we're gonna do the rivals as per usual. Talk about the final, Man City, Chelsea. It'll be interesting. Obviously, we're gonna talk about Arsenal with the latest wins, but yeah, we're gonna get more into the Champions League. We'll be reacting to that as well. Arsenal obviously playing in midweek. Oh yeah, we'll be talking about what we talk about here as well. So make sure you join us. And before you leave, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this channel as well, guys. Big up to the chat each and every time, as always. You are making the show what it is.
Jordan, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Any last words? Yeah, let people know where they can find you.
Oh yeah. So my Twitter's there for Geordie J. Check out Spurs Express, Lily White Lab. I'm doing loads of stuff for loads of different Tottenham accounts, so you'll see me about somewhere.
Big up, and thanks for coming on as well.
I appreciate it, boys. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Have me on, man.
As always, please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.